lovelies, welcome to Nigeria Meetup Podcast. It's your favorite host, Damilola Shakin, also known as your favorite media girl. And today, we are diving beyond the glamour, the red carpet, and the headlines of AMVCA. Today we're talking about controversial wins, a lot of things that we're talking about, but of course, I'm sure you will still watch the interview to the end. Now, joining me today is the current president of the Directors Guild of Nigeria, a man deeply involved in shaping the future of African storytelling and filmmaking, fresh from the 12th edition of the AMVCA. Hey, viewers, please welcome Uche. Before we started, I talked about the cap.
Yeah.
You always see them with the cap.
Yes.
All right, my next guest is one of the creative minds helping redefine visual storytelling in Nollywood. And he recently earned an AMVCA nomination for Best Documentary for
Yeah, I
the
was a
film.
producer on it. Yeah.
Oh, wow, wonderful. And he's passionate about meaningful African stories that inspire conversations and change perspective. And please welcome Precious Okpala.
Yay.
I hope I got
Thank
the
you.
name correct.
Yes, Precious Okpala, the happy director.
Yes, and I guess the other this I was reading was for a nomination for Best Cinematography for the film Finding Nina. And of course, his work continues to push the boundaries of cinematic excellence in Africa. And please welcome Danong Nyang. Please, did I get it?
Danong Gyang.
I practiced this thing more than 5 times today.
Oh, it's fine.
Danong Gyang.
All right, thank you for joining me today. I guess people have already, my viewers already know the reason why I've been smiling today. It's not easy now to have 3 men with you. It's not easy. And the only girl, so of course I have to feel funky today. But let's talk about AMVCA. So I'm starting with the DGN President. How do you feel? The DGN President.
Yeah.
We're not actors, we're directors.
How do you feel? How will you describe your overall AMVCA experience?
Overall, I think this year it's an improved experience overall. I will say 2 things. On the part of the show, I love the fact that Nigeria is trending across the world. But the only concern part of it is not that we're not trending because of the movies. We're trending because of the fashion. And this is meant to be a movie award. So whereas I'm happy that we're trending because of the show part of it, which is primarily the fashion, the beautiful dresses, and all-encompassing experience that we had during the AMVCA. I'm particularly a little bit concerned because the movies are not, and the nominations and the winners are not making as much trend, as the fashion part of the whole experience, at the moment. So, but give or take, it's a wholesome experience. I particularly love the fact that AMVCA is always a period that, you catch up with some of the your colleagues that the work part of our life does not allow us to meet. And AMVCA has also been positioned over the years, 12 years and counting now, to be one of the most the premium award event in the continent, not just in Nigeria, in the continent as a whole. So for me, that's like take home from the award. So just to recap it, I love it for the fact that we're trending as a country, but I particularly am a little bit concerned that we're not trending because of the films or the nominations, but we're trending because of the fashion alone.
We're still going to talk about the fashion, but let's talk. Precious, what do you have to say about you?
So here's what I think. I kind of agree a little bit with what he said. I think for me it was a very interesting experience. It was my first AMVCA, and then so I'm happy that we won also. And then for me, I loved everything about it. But what stood out for me the most was not even the moments on stage. It was coming backstage to see a lot of people that actually collaborate to make film work be so happy. You understand? It felt like a deserving moment for them. And for me, that moment now made me feel like, oh, these people, many people might not necessarily see them. Do you understand? Because they're not the ones collecting the awards. But film is an ensemble collaborative art. Do you get? So the fact that there were many people behind the stage there, that was the experience for me. Just watching them celebrate something like that. It made me understand that AMVCA is actually doing something right in terms of African cinema. It is trying to push African cinema in the right direction with ambition, right? And that's what AMVCA is doing. So I really like that. I like the fact that also, it spotlighted a lot of African voices. And just like Uchi said, the most important thing, I think, is to find a way to make it about the art, because it takes a lot of creativity. It's an entire village that makes a film. If we embrace the art if we embrace the ability to push the award show to be beyond, just the glam, the glitz, and it's more about the stories, the film, and the work that comes in behind it, I feel like it might become a full circle experience for filmmakers, but it was really a fantastic experience that night. I enjoyed myself.
Okay. Can you tell us your experience too then?
So for me, it was a beautiful experience because for the fact that it's a reward system, a lot of people go into filmmaking for various reasons. As much as people want to make money, but people want to feel fulfilled by what they're doing, So having the AMVCA is a sign of saying, we see you, we know you, and you're doing great, This was my third time attending the AMVCA. The first 2 times I had to scramble to get invites, but this time around, for the first time, I got an official invite as a nominee. So it felt like, okay, you're 7 years of filmmaking, finally we see you. And it's an encouragement for other people that are coming behind you, because if we don't have an award system, not everybody gets to know if you're making money or not, right? But when there's a younger generation that is at home and they watch the TV and they see the AMVCAs, it gives them something to dream of. It gives them something to aspire for. And for me, that's the most important thing about the event.
And you don't have anything to say about the fashion, so.
Yeah, well, we are human beings. We are Africans. We are very loud, and we are colorful. We are a country of over 500 ethnic tribes. So if we all come out in our traditional attire, it's going to look like a rainbow festival. So you can't take away the fact that this is who we are. As much as it's a film festival, we want to celebrate the films, but we are Africans. There's a way we always do our things, and we will always project ourselves in a certain way. So it's just for us to find the balance. Maybe it's time for filmmakers to actually go back onto the drawing board and put in more effort. Right? These fashion designers spend weeks designing these clothes. I can believe that there are fashion designers that are already researching for next year's AMVCA. Yeah.
True.
Yeah, because it was trending on Twitter, all of that. They all want to become popular. They all want to see their work being spoken about, But how many filmmakers do we have that are planning for the AMVCA of 2027 or 2028?
The project like that.
Right,
yes,
so.
and when we talked about the fashion, we're not necessarily saying that the fashion aspect should be taken out. Do you understand? I think there's a particular attention that is given more to the fashion side of it than is given to the film side of it. Do you get?
Exactly.
And
exactly, because if you think about the Oscars, when movies are nominated for the Oscars, the attention, the whole debate, it's around the films that were nominated, those that got nominations, and the winners of the film. And if you put it in side by side with what we get with AMVCA, I'm sorry, but I'm just getting to know that you're nominated under Best Cinematography. That shouldn't be, really. So the amount of effort that is put in to promote the fashion part of it should be tripled to promote the nomination part of it.
True.
It's not enough to say we're doing a nomination party or we're doing a nomination. Beyond just the nomination parties and all of that, there should be deliberate effort, both from the organizers and from the filmmakers themselves, to sell those nominations to the world. Let it become an iconic event that is primarily about what it's supposed to be, the film. And if you look at it, it's not strangers that wear those fashions. There are still people involved in films. But then they're not talking about the actors majorly. I think the actors majorly are the ones that put on the elaborate costumes. We're not talking about their acting prowess. We're talking about what they wore to AMVCA. So that's where the disconnect comes from. Now, I'm not saying that is wrong, because in an award event, it's always all encompassing, right? So you can't take away the fashion,
Of
the
course,
party, the glam, and all of that. But I'm saying, if we're putting, I read a BBC report on BBC website, the major BBC website, and the headline reads, so person wore bread to AMVCA.
Yeah.
That's the headline.
Yeah.
Not that my father's shadow won 5 major awards.
I saw another one that said the Met Gala needs to learn from the
Thank you. Met Gala is not a film award.
Yeah, no, it's not.
We should be comparing AMVCA to the Oscars, not to the Met Gala. So whereas I'm sorry, but whereas we are so excited about Nigeria being in the world map, maybe it's time for African Magic to also create another event that is typically fashion event that will pay more attention to the fashion industry, and it's not a bad thing. But if the fashion industry takes the shine from the filmmakers, those who really put on the work, those who are the major reason for the conveyance of the event, then we as filmmakers may need to go back to the drawing board, not to improve our addresses, but to improve our publicity strategies on how to ensure that our movies are talked about at the end of every award.
So should we have we have they have the traditional nights and all those.
Yeah.
Are you saying that they should have another, maybe possibly another night for the fashion?
So no matter how
you also think that the fashion is also one of the reasons why people look forward to AMVCA.
So no matter how you want to say it, if you create 10 nights, right, at the proper AMVCA awards, my people, when I say my people, I mean the actors, the filmmakers, are also going to look their best. Those costumes, those fashion will also come. What I'm saying is this: the fashion brings attention, but if you look at it technically, is it wrong or right? Should it be the fashion that is bringing attention to a reward system for filmmakers and films, or should it be the film and filmmakers that are bringing attention to a reward system of filmmakers and film? So what I'm saying is, it takes away from the hard work of filmmakers, actors. It takes away that the conversation goes away from the films, the filmmakers, the actors, to the fashion. Now, when that happens, what it means is that the primary purpose of being nominated. So if for instance, the conversation we are having here now is that this my brother had been nominated as one of the best cinematographers, and they are let's say 3, 4, 5, right? And we're now critically looking at their works. More producers in and outside the country will be interested in knowing this guy and giving him another job.
Sure.
But if after a full award event, this my brother who won the best documentary with his colleagues, right, are not being talked about, and what we read, if you Google AMVCA right now, just put it up, Google it, the first major thing that come up is not the winners, it's not the filmmaker, it's the fashion. And so the question is he helping the films that were nominated? Is he helping the filmmaker? Is he helping the actors? Or is he helping the fashion industry? And if it is helping the fashion industry, is it a fashion event? Or is it a film event?
Okay, so more like the fashion industry is even benefiting. But who are we to blame for this? Are we blaming the fashion industry?
Just before you answer, don't put us in a position where we have to blame anybody.
Exactly.
Can't blame anybody.
So the thing is, we can't blame anybody, because even just now I was asking myself, so where did it happen? Where did it all start segueing from film conversations properly to fashion conversations? And we're not saying take away that fashion.
Yeah.
That fashion is part of the glam and part of the beautiful process. But where did it segue? Because just like he said, I can tell you many people that meet and just say, oh, congratulations, AMVCA winner, but they don't know about the film. But when I watch the Oscars, I want to go and watch all the films that were nominated for the Oscars. I want to go and watch as many I remember this year, Hamlet, all of them, I have gone back to sit. But how many times have you had people really have conversations about the films from AMVCA, apart from the ones that maybe they don't know about, that won the best film, the major category? Do you understand? So how do we shift that? I feel like it should be a conversation of how do we make sure that filmmakers get more visibility with these conversations. When we talk about the AMVCA people, how do we make it an award event that people are dying to see the films? Please, how can we see your film? You understand? I love your work. I saw your work. Do you get? I watched your film. It really deserves it, or it doesn't deserve it. Come at me. Oh, your documentary is not. You guys, your documentary is not all that. Let's have those conversations. Do you get? I feel like there has to be something that can be done, and it starts from the PR. You understand? It starts from the PR that goes into the way the films are talked about. After the announcement of the films, what next? How many times do you put up? Do you promote scenes from the film? Do you understand? Things
Before
that made
the
you
event.
before the event. Things that will make people say, because why do we watch trailers? We watch trailers because they make us go, oh my god, I want to watch that film.
Yeah.
So how much work is being put into those films?
And it's not just from the organizers.
Yeah.
Let's be honest.
Yes.
That work is
yes.
not left for the organizers.
It's
alone.
not for the organizers
It's both
alone.
for
Yes,
the filmmakers
both for the filmmakers.
and the organizers. So my poser has always been, the filmmakers that have been nominated must also, if it is possible, hire their own publicists and
True.
their own PR team
True.
to highlight their own films.
True.
So that we don't just sit down here and drop the entire work at the doorsteps of the organizers.
The organizers have done their work actually
Yes, by providing the
promoting
platform.
providing the platform and saying this is the film. There's a film that won an Oscar one year. I'm not going to call the name so I'll not fall into trouble. But basically, the film, I heard that a lot of their budget went into promoting the film, trying to do PR for them to win the Oscars, and he packed the Oscars that year.
So he is very correct. So if you left for me, I would say that we are not here saying the AMVCA is not doing right. We're here saying the filmmakers need to think differently, because it's a burden on you, right, as a filmmaker, to find means to be the trending conversation and take it away from just what people wore to AMVCA. Because people deliberately will wear what will call attention to them. So you as a filmmaker, what are you now doing to deliberately call attention? We're living in attention industry. I mean attention era. So it's either they're talking about you, or they're talking about him, or they're talking about she. So you as a filmmaker, the onus, the responsibility is on you. If it requires you to hire a publicist or a PR or whatever to ensure that your film or your nomination is what being talked about, do it. Because it's all about the attention. Otherwise, next year, you might bring another set of people, or we might be back here talking about the same thing, because it's all going to be the same thing. Because like my brother pointed out, people are already thinking about fashion next year. This year, people wore cathedral to people wore bread. People wore the is it water or whatever? I mean, people wore things that will call attention to them, right?
Because of the team.
People wore feathers, right? So next year, I even saw someone wore balloon or something. Something close to that.
Wore balloon.
Yeah. So question is, and then these are the ones you got attention. There are some that passed around me that was wearing cement sack. They use cement to create their own costume. It didn't get the attention, but I saw two young people. So the filmmaker should start thinking. Should we always sit down in a podcast, in an analyzing room to talk about fashion?
Exactly.
Or is there something that we can do differently to get our films, beautiful films that we have made, be the center of conversation, so that next year when BBC is reporting, they're not reporting
just on fashion,
just on fashion, calling attention to fashion, but calling attention to winners. This year somebody set a record by winning the best supporting and best
actor,
lead, female lead, and we're not even talking about that record enough.
And what do you have to say about it, you?
Well, just as he said, intentional effort has to be made from both angles. I think me personally, I've actually got unsolicited mails to do PR when I got a nomination. Someone sent me an email, they packaged the proposal. So those kind of efforts are commendable. So I would say anyone that comes across any opportunity like that should actually take advantage of it, you know.
Sure.
And celebrate yourself. I know that probably older people or millennials or older will come from a generation of humility, you know. Let people clap for you, you know. Let them beat the drum while you do the dancing. Yeah, I get all of that is correct too. But you know, we are in an era where there are Gen Zs that don't care. They'll come into the space, make the table, make the
Disrupt
chair,
the space.
and they'll sit. And it's good, right? It's beautiful. It has put some of us on our toes. It has made us to work harder, you know. But let's just find the balance in all of it.
Okay, let's talk about your nominations. How did you feel when you? So I mean, you talked about last year where you had to struggle for this yourself. This year, what how did you feel when you received the nomination? And
So, first of all, I was excited, even though it came as a surprise, you know. Finding Nina had previously gotten some other nominations in some other film festivals, you know, but not as grand as the AMVCA. And I actually wasn't watching until a friend of mine just sent me a message, "Congratulations, nominee." And I ran to a living room to put on the TV, and lo and behold, my name was reading on the screen. So it was an exciting moment for me. You know, it felt like finally we see you. You're doing something good, you know. And from my background is not in film. My background is in TV journalism. Yes, so I'm supposed to be a broadcaster, journalist, and all of that. But somehow along the line, I found myself on a film set, you know, and ever since then I changed direction. So to be recognized in such a category, and if you look at the other contenders for that category, I would say I'm like the baby of the house. You know, all of those other guys have bigger portfolios compared to me. They've been like, I've watched their films, I've used some of their films as references, you know. So to be listed amongst them, it felt like, oh, okay, there's something good that we're doing here, so let's keep it up. Yeah.
Yes, and tell us the moment you won the award, the feeling. Did you expect to win it? And that moment, you're feeling that moment.
So our project had Beyond Olympic Glory. It had won a couple of awards, you know. So I was kind of feeling confident coming into the AMVCAs, but when I look at the category, the other projects in the, I would be like, are you sure? But somehow I remember we were sitting together, myself, the director, Shedrack, and we were just sitting together, and they were about to call. We held our hands together and we were praying, and in that moment, I was just like, what if they now call another project? The thoughts just occurred in my head, and I'm like, just don't think about it. Don't think about it. So yeah, we were pretty much like, we knew we had won a couple of, like, this is the 20th award it's winning.
Oh.
Yes, both internationally and locally. So we knew that somehow, okay, the project had been doing so well, but in that moment, there was really that little doubt. And then when they announced us the winners, we didn't even know whether to stand up, jump up, or it just felt like, right, it just felt like, oh, thank God, finally, after all the suffer, all the work, finally we're here, and this is actually happening. It just felt really surreal, to be honest.
All right, so in your position, when you see the directors and these filmmakers receiving their awards, how do you feel as a president?
I feel good. Because like my other brother mentioned earlier, when you see an award system or reward system, right, that focuses on encouraging talent, focuses on encouraging efforts. As the national president of the Directors Guild of Nigeria, my responsibility is to celebrate my members. And I mean, in the directors category, I think we had about 4 or 5 nominees out of about 6 members who were nominated. It means and it shows that we have a very strong membership base. So when I look at the various projects that were nominated this year, I felt good. I felt satisfied. I felt okay, because I mean, come to think of it, some of those projects I've seen, I've been opportune to watch, and I know that regardless of what anybody says about Nigerian film industry, we crack stones with eggs. I'm very conscious of what I say. We crack stones with eggs. I mean, when the international community hears the amount of budget we use to make film, some of our total budget in some projects is like a fee you pay one cinematographer.
Yeah.
Somewhere else in the world.
Yeah.
It's like a fee you give one director out of. So, and the amount of time we spend to make this film is like what they use for planning, not pre-production, planning, first set of planning.
For a table read.
For a table read. I've been in places where, you know, some foreign actors were, and they were given a script and say, let's shoot. And the actor said, I'm not going to shoot. I need time to. In Nigeria,
Yeah.
right there on set,
Yeah.
I mean, you're giving 2 pages. I expected to, in less than 10 minutes, 5 minutes,
Just get it.
to have it in your head and let's shoot.
You know,
Wow.
I was
So-
in the British. Sorry
Okay.
for cutting you. I was in the British Council Film Lab, training for filmmakers, obviously, and they brought this foreign coach to mentor us in one of the classes, and you know, she was asking us, "Oh, how do you guys film? What's your process like?" And we started talking about the process. When we told her how we film and the budget, she was like, "Sorry, you used that to do what?"
So that's the
The
reality.
shock. The shock on her face. She could not believe that we could make films work with the kind of budget that we do, you know, and with the kind of time and lack of resources.
Yeah. So so when, just to answer your question directly, I feel very happy, you know, because AMVCA really has become a very massive stage, has become a massive platform. I mean, it has become like the apex of, you know, film reward system in the country, in Africa. And so when someone wins an AMVCA, maybe because of the kind of publicity AMVCA receives, it kind of elevates the person. So I'm always very happy for them. Although personally, I am not the award kind of person, and I will explain. I'm not one who looks forward to an award.
Why?
I don't know. When I started making films, I just thought to myself, I said, I'm not going to wait for somebody else to see the good in my film, for me to celebrate me, for me to know that I'm making a good film. And so most often than not, I don't even submit. Or sometimes I'll say, okay, I'll submit, then I miss the mark. But when I see people who take the extra effort, it's now that I'm now realizing, boy, you are going to get to a certain old age now. You realize that you don't have any meaningful award. Maybe you should take this thing seriously. You know, I'm not beginning to see maybe sense in it. But for those who have always seen it as a target, I know there are filmmakers who already started planning next year, who are already thinking, okay, which project am I going to do now, you know, to get me nominated. Such filmmakers, I applaud them, because it takes extra effort and extra grace, you know, to even climb that stage, right? So I'm very, very, very happy for them. I'm very happy for all the nominees, and like I always say, anybody who is nominated in any category is a winner already, because you're not the only one that submitted film. There are a couple of, you know, hundreds or if not thousands of films that always come into every award system. So for the jury to even see your film and shortlist it and say you are one of the nominees, it means there's something that tickles their fancy, you know, in your work. And if you don't go ahead to win, it could just be that the difference between the winner and the person that was nominated could just be the test board of the jury.
Yeah.
It could just be the test board, not that the film is better. It could just be the test board, because no matter how you see it, it's my mama cook food, your mama cook food. Now one person food, and both of us chop am. I go say my mama food sweet pass.
True.
So it's the test board.
Yeah.
So it doesn't necessarily mean that the jury is right or wrong. It just means that while they were watching this particular one, there's the test board, and it might just be that particular day, how they woke up. You know, it could just be that there's a movie, there's a character in your movie that is upsetting them, and it is coming from, you know, from their experience. No matter how technical you want to say that movie jurors are, the reality is that it is the test board
It's subjective.
it is subjective. Art is experiential, art is subjective. So I tell every nominee, you're already a winner. That same film, if that same nomination now, you might put it to the same jury next year, and they may have a different outcome. So at the end of the day, once you're nominated, I celebrate you. I know that you're doing a great work because it shows that the jury have seen something special in your work. So, just to wrap it up with your question, I feel very elated. And this year, I have a lot of friends, really, that got nominated. Precious here for one. Precious is more like a brother.
I'll tell you, we're classmates from school.
Yes, yes.
Yeah,
so from university, yes.
Yeah.
So theater arts days. So I'm and beyond Precious, there a lot. Some are my members. Some are members of Directors Guild of Nigeria. Some are friends. Some are very close colleagues. So this year was a lot good, and the jury this year also did a great work at the same time.
Okay, so I don't want us to just miss that part where you talked about the budget. Put a price to the budget when you're talking about Nigeria and the foreign budget. Like, how much do we use here? And just give us an examples.
Well, the reality, if you're talking about budget, is that no Nigerian producer, as of today, can actually tell you his or her actual budget.
Why?
Okay, that's a good question. So, I think it's a thing of the culture. Two things. Okay, well, this is my personal opinion, so I should just put it as a warning. I feel like, one, a lot of Nigerian filmmakers, producers don't pay their tax. So that could also be a reason. So they don't really need to say the actual price so that the government do not come for them. That may be one of the reasons. Second, another reason could be that in this part of our world, we're always in the ideology of, my brother, money no day, can't do it for me now. There's always this idea of we don't have enough budget. Yeah. So most times it's always my guy. So it ends up you end up not getting the actual budget out there. Normally, if you Google some movies abroad, right, you could see the budget. It's not a hidden thing. Yeah. You could see that this movie was made with $500 million, $300 million, $20 million. You will see it. It's because their system will not allow you to spend money without accountability. So here, I don't know, but I cannot think of any movie that you can put on your Google right now, Nigerian film, and get the budget. There's none, as long as my knowledge could, carry. So I will not be able to sit down here now and tell you that I know the budget of any particular Nigerian film. And that is also where investors are finding it difficult to really put money down. Because for someone to invest, there has to be some public verifiable figures. So if you say a movie has made 500 million in the cinema, or 1 billion, or 2 billion, or 30 billion in the cinema, how much did it cost to make?
To make the film.
So that the investor will know that, okay, I put down $1 billion, I can make 3 billion. I put down 500 million, I can make 1 billion. So we don't have those numbers. And for me, I think it is that lack of trust. Either lack of trust to one another, lack of trust in the system, lack of trust in the industry. There is just this death of trust that is making producers not to review. Because if you tell me that your budget is $1 million, right? I do my mental calculation automatically. How much is $1 million to Naira? As a director who is going to be on that project, I'm going to charge you well. Because you don't want to pay me well, you will tell me, Agbo, this project, we're just trying to manage, even if it is, I don't really have money, like that kind of 10 million, 5 million, just less money. Meanwhile, you have like over 200, 300 million to make that same project. So these are the issues. Sometimes producers don't also want to pay well. So even if when they get this funding from partners, sponsors, investors, they don't want to spend it to the real and actual people that make these films. Yeah. So my sister, if you ask me, who I go ask? Because right now we don't have definite figures out there that is publicly verified that this is the budget. The only people that can tell you the actual budget are three people. One is God. Two, the person that is actually producing the film, the person that has the money. 3, the person that gave the person the money. Those are the 3 people that know the actual amount of money that was released for that project. So if you are God, you see everything, so you will know. If you are the one who is bringing the money, you know how much money they've collected from you, so you will know. If you are the one who were giving the money to, do all the contracting, you know how much you receive, so you cannot lie to yourself. Yeah. Beyond these 3 people, every other person on that set is living on a beg now.
So a cinematographer can also tell us his own side of this thing, like how much.
A cinematographer can tell you how much he charged, but cannot tell you how much the entire project is.
Yeah.
So the thing is that even in some cases, even if you ask the EP and the producer, you still get 2 different figures.
Exactly. That's why I said the person that brought the money and the person that they gave the money.
So, I really don't know why it is that way, but I think my guy has spoken elaborately about it, and he has brought most of the speculations on the table, So most times, right, in Hollywood, I'm sorry to use Hollywood, but I will use it because they are like our fathers, A lot of things we do is fashioned around what the Hollywood used to do, So most times in Hollywood, as a DP, you fashion your technical spec based on the budget of the film. Yeah. You will not recommend technical gear to be above the budget of the film. Or sometimes a producer will say, okay, this is the entire budget of the film, but you as a director of photography, this is what you have to use to make the film. So there's that debate between you and him and how to balance. So they can't give you millions of dollars and you are now shooting with a small camera with a 5D Mark III, or they're giving you, so it's just the conversation is like that out there, But here is most times your own rate versus what the production can afford, right?
Yeah.
You may have your own rate and you may stand on your own rate for most of the time. Sometimes you may compromise because you have a relationship with the production company, consider, or you just take a liking to the story and you really want to do it regardless of if they can afford you or not. Or probably you just have free time, Because I have shot for a few of my friends for almost nothing. Yep. Or 2 days short film, 1 day short film. Okay, no problem. I'm free, I'm at home, let's make this work. And I've also made attempts to have a sort of back-end deal with some producers, even though that area is still gray because of trust. People just want to pay you now and go. But again, if you can't afford to pay me now at my rate, we can as well have a gentleman agreement. Probably after production, I get a few millions of naira, or probably when you are doing your PR, I'm mentioned in every publication. At least my name is out there and all of that. In the next 50 years, my children will Google my name and see my name all over the place. I don't know that daddy didn't waste his time carrying cameras up and down. So it depends on how you go around it, but there isn't a straight-jacket form of operation.
All right. I'll put this to you because you're the DGN President. Are our filmmakers, are they getting support to compete globally?
You want the simple answer or the complicated one?
What we answered?
No. Is the answer. We're not. We're not in enough shapes and form, and we're not. In fact, filmmakers in Nigeria deserve Hall of Fame. Like, we're supposed to build walkway in Federal Capital Territory and say, if you're a filmmaker, anytime you land in Abuja, come and work here. Because what we are doing as filmmakers with our major resources, with what we pool, right? The government need to do extremely more for us. And I will explain. Before this show started, I mentioned that in South Africa there is standard rebate. There's certain funding you could receive. That if you go there to make film, especially if you're doing it with a South African film company, there are a lot of agreements that a country like South Africa has with other parts of the world. What we often ask the government, now remember, Nigeria is just one of those countries where the government didn't build the film industry. The film industry was built and the government now came in. What we celebrate today as an industry, I'm not talking about when film started. I'm not going to go into the history of who started filmmaking in Nigeria. I'm going to school what we call today as commercial filmmaking. What you see today that is booming, that is seen as Nollywood, wasn't built by the government.
A DIY industry.
Thank you. It wasn't built by the government. This were built by at the back of men and women who were selling electronics and other products, who saw business in DVD, VCD, and put all their money into it. And today we have an industry. Couple of questions. Now that we have become an industry and started, contributing to the GDP, we are even touted to be the second after agriculture employer of labor in the country. Every day we hear English from the government. They are bringing this billion, this million, this. Whereas the basic policies and follow through, because debt of law in Nigeria is not the problem. There are many laws, but they follow through. So one, we don't have the enabling environment. The government has not done enough. And after speaking to the government, I will speak to other parts. So the government has not done enough, to make Nigeria a competitive industry. One of the conversations we have been having is tax rebate. If you go and import cameras, these cameras we're using to shoot this podcast today and mic and all of that, are there tax rebate on them? If you want to encourage an industry, that is one of the ways to start. Because tax is all over the place, but if you reduce it, that's one of the ways. Two, if foreigners are coming in, like they're bringing foreign exchange, dollar, whatever it means, to come and invest in your country, in terms of they want to come and shoot here, do they have the environment from the security architecture? Does a white man feel safe coming here to shoot? So there's a lot that will help the filmmakers' environment to thrive from the part of the government. Now, whether it is coming in form of loans, whether it's coming in form of Nigeria currently, they say we have, but we are in actual reality we don't have. You cannot use your intellectual property to go and get money from the bank. Now I'm going to the private sector now. But in developed part of the world, if you have an intellectual property, you can actually go to the bank and take a loan with your intellectual property. Intellectual property is your film. Let me put it in a simple part. You can go and take a loan. The last time we had this debate at Coast Film Festival, the DG of the Nigeria Film and Video Censors Board said that the minister is currently working on that. Working on that is good, but do you really think that the bankers community they understand it and they are ready to do it? So when you ask this question, the hard truth is that any film that comes out of Nigeria is coming from a place of sweat. Sometimes your children's school fees, your house rent. So tell me how an industry of such nature will be growing. We have remained stunted. Forget the fact that all this, we say we are global. Global in what sense? Highest movie we have grossed is 3 billion, a bit 2 billion. Somebody help me. Funke Akindele's film. I think they say it's 2 billion, a bit 3 billion. Let's even use 3 billion. How much is 3 billion in dollars? So when you go to tell 3 billion by 1,390, 1,400, I don't even know what dollar is at the moment. But if you divide that, you know how much it means in dollar. If you go to tell a Hollywood studio that that's what your highest film is, they're going to look at you like, what are you talking about?
Do you think that's why streaming platforms left?
I'll come to that. so just to cap it up, so that it's a direct question. This conversation needs to be had many times. The government must have to do their job. The private sectors will have to do their job. I'm also now saying, big studios in America, like the 6 big studios, they are worth more than put the entire industry in Nollywood together, and the entire industry may not even be up to like 30 or 40% of their worth. Please, we need the likes of Otedola to come in, Dangote, Globalcom, all these major companies need to start either owning their own production companies, distribution companies, platforms, or partnering with filmmakers to create some, because they have the sleeping capital, or what? Not sleeping capital, patience capital, because you need patient capital to really build an industry. We don't have that. Patient capital, just to explain, is fund that somebody is not asking you to pay him back in a period of 3 months or 6 months or 1 year, because to get a film ready might take 1 year already.
Takes more than
or more. So you need patient capital. Those things are not available. So there's so much that if I start talking, I mean, there may not be enough time. That's why I said the simple answer is no. We're not getting enough. And it's not just going to be the government. We're going to need the government. We're going to need the private sector. We're going to need literally everybody. And Nigeria has to be a functioning country, functioning power, functioning security, functioning this. So the basic thing that make life easy has to work, because film thrives in an environment that works. Editor will sit down in their system and light is going off every 1 minute. How do you want to export an 8K footage? You have to run your generator diesel. So the answer is no. I don't know if you want some more, but these are the issues.
I think as we talked about that lights going off, I remember one of my editors, Michael, his system off every time the lights goes off.
Okay,
you want
let me
to
just
say
add
something?
a little bit to what he said. So this is on the local level here, you know. Lagos happened to house one of the largest quantity of productions. You know, let's say top-notch skill productions. There are other productions done in other states of the country, but and we keep saying Lagos. Why Lagos? Why? How many other states have given? How many other state governments or other states have heard that filmmakers are in our state filming? So let's give them free accommodation. Let's pay for their hotel bills, or let them stay in the government-owned hotel for 3 weeks while they are filming in Anambra, Enugu, Jos, Bauchi, Kano, or wherever it is. Or let's pay their flight tickets to and fro, right? Akwa Ibom State, sorry you used to use Ibom, but I'm just saying, for example, Akwa Ibom State has an airline. If filmmakers want to go and shoot in Akwa Ibom State, will the state government say, okay, don't worry, don't pay for your flights to and fro? So those are literally
They will ask you why.
You're even going far. Let me come down to Lagos now. So I went to my friend's set 2 days ago at Denike, and they were filming at Unilag, and they had paid for permits. They paid over 4 million naira for permits
to use Unilag.
Now they've paid that kind of money. This is a young filmmaker that is trying to just make a film. Do you know that I got there and the security locked them out? That they need to bring. They showed the security. This is, you understand? He said there is one that you haven't gotten from this person, and they said no, we have that one too. Do you understand? And the security stood there and locked the space, and they were losing light, and they were begging the security. They were like, okay, they would need to go back and get it. Now, the thing that shocked me the most is how, I'm saying, support is not just from government, it's even from people. Our people do not support filmmakers. They're always putting their foot down to exploit, people that are trying to make filmmaking work. Do you know they had to go, when they got the thing they were looking for and sent it, they came to these people, the security people, even called them out, do you want money? Do you understand? We would give you, do you get? Let's just talk about it. They showed the man. The man said no, that his CSO has not told him. Now you've seen proof of payment. You've seen different, but now your CSO has not allowed you. I have the video. Like, I was there. I literally wanted to go mad because another director came there and said, "This is my jurisdiction." Do you understand? And these people, I am clearing them. Allow them to film. Until filmmakers were crying. There is no, I don't know, we're talking about financial support, you understand, and structure, but there is no support for a filmmaker even trying in Lagos. For us to film, I can't carry my camera and go outside.
I think in that regard, I will fault the filmmaker in a way. And I mean, this has been obvious, very brutal with my honesty. If you're a director in Lagos State and you belong to Directors Guild of Nigeria, and you have that kind of experience and you call me, it will not take more than 2 minutes
for them
to get that gate open. So young filmmakers must also learn to find themselves in a place of structure and system. I know that a lot of our young people want to do it all by themselves, because that same yesterday he's talking about, I was with the Lagos State Film and Video Censors Board, which they are now trying to review themselves to change it to Lagos Film House or Lagos Film Commission. They are still in the process, right? But they are like the ones that give most of the permits when you are filming anywhere within Lagos. And we are very close to the executive secretary, who is quite a very supportive lady, right? And there are phone calls that will come to that gate in that minute, and that thing will be broken. So two ways I'm going to judge this matter that he raised. One is that whereas I empathize or sympathize with that kind of situation, and filmmakers need to know that to practice in an ecosystem, find structures, find organizations, find people who can help to protect your welfare and your interest. I understand the distrust sometimes in our guilds and association that people will always say some people will say it's a bunch of old people that
I don't even think that's what they're saying.
I'm coming,
Yes.
that are gatekeeping, right? In fact, it was one of the motivations. If you think that way, it's okay. It was one of the ways it was one of the reasons that motivated me to join the Directors Guild of Nigeria about 11 years ago or thereabout. And today I'm the national president. Now, I fought tooth and nail to become the national president because of two major reasons. And I'm just going to say it for the first time here. One is that I wanted the young people to see that one of their own is on the seat and they can feel comfortable to come in. So I have revamped the guild to the extent that your membership registration, you don't need to, before now, you have to come to the office, fill a physical form, wait for thousands of years, or couple of years to get screened, and then sometimes you are told you don't qualify, you have to come back again next year. What I've been able to do is to simplify the process. Now you can sit in your house, do your registration on a website, get contacted, sometimes even do your screening virtually, right? You don't even need to show physically. So we have made it a lot easier for the younger filmmakers because you need protection. It's an unfair industry because, like he rightly pointed out, it is not just the government who's trying to exploit you. Everybody thinks that the cars we drive in movies now we get them. Everybody thinks that the affluence, the opulence, the life we live on the screen reflects our personal life. So they think that we have plenty money. So anytime you raise camera, people want the money.
But are you also protecting them from the Agbo?
Exactly.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Sorry, let me say something about that.
Hold on. Yes, we are. And let me tell you how. Right now, if you register your film, first and foremost, you don't even know you are going against the law by filming in Lagos State without getting a Lagos State permit. That's to start with. So if you have gone to Lagos Film Office, which is the Lagos State Film and Video Censors, but if you have gone there, register your production, gotten your permit, right? If you want them to be on set with you, once their vehicle is parked there with the sticker, the Agbo will know it. I will tell you for free.
So are you saying
there are multiple
big names?
So let me say something about this.
When Kula Flying was filming, right?
Yes.
When Kula Flying was filming, I've forgotten the particular movie, but there was a film he did at Lagos mainland. This the market, around the market. This Lagos what? Balogun around that area.
Yeah.
The Agboros were the one helping him to control the vehicles. Why? Not because it's a big name, but because the Lagos he got the permit and the team was on ground. So if you get the permit, those Agbo permit me to use it. They work with the government. If they see the government sticker anywhere around, in fact, I've gone to film in public and they've come to me to ask me, where is my sticker? So sometimes ignorance of the law, they say, is not an excuse.
Yes.
If you are filming, if you are going to why most filmmakers don't bother is because they always shoot either within an estate, inside the duplex. But if you are going to film on the road where you are sure that you're going to have such issues, the best thing to do is to get registered. And the day you're going to do that filming, inform them.
So I'm not against structure and getting registered, but I like to think that our experience as filmmakers is way more than structure. The rot is beyond structure, because with all the structure in place, even with policemen and soldiers, Agbo still do what they do. They might see the sticker, do you understand, and maybe it works for you. But my experience of things not working in Lagos, Nigerians not supporting, it is beyond structure. And I'm not saying
let me finish. And now is that particular experience you have, and I want you to put it on record. Did you register that production?
Hold on first. It's not my experience. It's not my experience. Okay,
exactly.
We're not talking about registration. We're talking about this. No, hold on. You're telling me that the structure, with the structure I'm protected. I'm telling you that. No, I'm telling you that. Wait, I'm a young filmmaker that is just getting out of film school, and I want to make a film. Do you understand? I'm just getting out of film school. I want to make a film, maybe just in my area. Let me just do an experimental film, for example, and I come out to make a film, and somebody just sees that, oh, okay, I'm trying to shoot an experimental film, even with just one camera, just a small camera.
There are so many states in America.
I'm telling you that.
This America we're using as our example. There are so many states in America you dare not shoot without permit.
Without
many states.
I can tell you that filmmakers, young filmmakers in every state can bring out a camera and do an experimental project.
And I can tell you for free.
An indie experimental project. You can't tell me that every time, for example, somebody that is in school, that is in the University of Lagos, for example, that is studying theater arts, just like we studied,
can do projects of theater arts.
No, he can also do projects that help him.
Listen,
how did you start making film? No, let's ask this question. How did you start making film?
Okay, I put it to you.
I want you to answer the question. Yes. Okay, how did you start making film?
I started making film
when you registered. When you started making films,
as a theater art student, no. Because I was making films.
That's what I'm saying. Hold on.
That's what he's saying.
It's not everybody that has gotten to the level that they can go and pay for every structure.
There are two things. Hold on.
Some people do films to experiment, to learn.
Hold on. There are two things here. There's educational film. That you're making film as a student is different from when you're making professional film. The moment that project is not a student film, it's a professional film. There are, like I repeat myself here and now, right? There are states that this country will always cite as our El Dorado, as where things are done properly. The reason why things are done properly is that because there is a system in place. There are certain things you cannot do. If you do it, it is a problem. Do you know that from here?
That even with uniform, when we want to record.
Hold on. Do you know Izojuku, the director?
Yeah.
The popular Izojuku.
Yeah.
He went to California to shoot Hollywood. He dare not. What do you know what I had to do? I wrote a letter to Directors Guild of America introducing Izu.
Right now.
Now, hold on, I'm coming.
Okay.
See, the problem is you destroy a system and you want it to work in your favor.
Who destroyed the system?
Let me tell you how. Let me tell you. The greatest problem of a lot of young filmmakers, and I'm raising this issue because of what he said. The greatest problem of all young filmmakers, they don't like system, they don't like structure.
No, that's not true.
Hold on, I'll make the point that you can take it from
okay.
there. They don't like system, they don't like structure, but they want things to work perfectly for them. No, sir. Now, everything is not about money. The question is, how much is this permit?
But you asked an important question. Who destroyed the system?
Thank you. Now, system is constantly destroyed by those who evade the system, those who refuse to follow the structure.
Hold on.
Whether it is knowingly or unknowingly. If you as a filmmaker claim that you came out from film school, you don't know that there's a structure in place, and you want to make a film, and you had a horrible experience, you do not have a right to tell me that experience should be valid. Ignorance of the law is not an excuse.
Yeah, you said this thing. So let me now say something.
If you want
the
system to protect you,
do
your due diligence first.
Let me say something here.
People come from abroad before they film in Lagos. From online, they Google to find out because of why the culture of where they're coming from states that you cannot film in certain states without certain things. You that is here have not, because you feel that the industry is work out anyhow. You come in, start the process without even asking, should I?
I think it's a very unfair assumption to say that young filmmakers do not like structure.
Okay.
Where a structure is working in place, people run to that structure. Whether it is young filmmaker, whether it's not. I think that's not even the bone of contention here. You have said some things here that are new information to me as a filmmaker. Do you get? As an indie filmmaker. And I'm like, these things are in place. Okay, yeah, we can do this. That's not even the problem. I'm telling you that even with all the structure, that we face a lot of battle whether it is structured or not. And then you made an assumption here saying that student filmmakers cannot film anywhere. I know a lot of people right now, or people that are not student filmmakers cannot make films. I know a lot of people who have never made a film before, that they just made their first film, that their films are going to festivals, and they are making films in spaces that are saying, you know what, just go and film. I went to Ghana to do a documentary.
You are mixing it up.
I went to Ghana. No, I'm not mixing it up. I went to Ghana to go and make a documentary. Right? I've never stepped foot in Ghana before. And when I got there, it was a lot of welcome. Do you understand? My problem is not even about your structure. You took the conversation into the structural problem, which I feel like if there's a structure now in place, because there's a reputation that guilds have in Nigeria.
Who created this reputation?
I don't know. So that's the thing. I'm going to tell you. So I want you to not make the structural experience to every young filmmaker.
Yeah, you have to.
No. Let me tell you something. Let me tell you why.
If you invade the structure, you suffer the consequence.
No, you can't say that.
Have you experienced something that you feel that makes you feel that the DGN it's not
just DGN?
No, I'm not saying.
I feel like
again, let me correct this. I'm not talking against DGN here.
Okay.
I'm talking about structure in terms of the entire city, in terms of the support that filmmakers get as filmmakers, in terms of the limitations that we have as filmmakers. He made a comment here that filmmakers like filming in estates, and there's a reason for it. Do you get? Filmmakers, I'm letting you know that, this is my experience personally.
A lot of filmmakers don't do the right things.
This is my experience personally. No, I don't. We keep saying a lot of filmmakers, but a lot of filmmakers do the right things and still experience the same thing. No, they experience the same thing, sir.
No.
What are you saying?
They don't.
No.
See, I've mentioned up to 5 films. Why do you think that most big productions that get these permits don't get disturbed? Big productions. Mention one big production in Lagos. No, I will put it to you now. Just mention one big productions. And when I mean big productions,
I'm very careful not to mention names, but I know of like 3 productions, even this year, that have gone online, and they are part of the system.
I know 2 of such
that have gone online.
I know of those 2.
This is not the problem.
Hold on. I know of those 2. And those 2 did not register.
See,
I can tell you now. The truth is there. The truth is, let's be honest,
Yeah.
The government is there for something. I'm not saying, of course, I'm one of those people that will bash the government anytime that I get the opportunity. I'm not saying the government is doing the right things, right? But I'm saying that you, as a filmmaker, is doing the wrong thing, and you don't want to accept it. Most of those people that go online, okay, I take him as an example. He has done videos of what happened. Tomorrow he posts it. Hold on. And then, what is he going to say? You're not supporting young filmmakers. Question, did you register that film? No. One, you failed to do the right thing.
You don't know if these people are registered. Hold on.
I'm asking you the question.
No, I don't know them. I went to visit people on
set. You don't know them, you visited them, you made a video, you didn't ask.
Okay, calm down, you're over talking me. That's not nice.
Okay.
Let me tell you this now. No, I went to visit my friends that are on set, and I noticed these people are having experience. My friends work on a production set. You cannot know if they are registered. And you cannot make that assumption here and attack me personally. Why are you asking me if I asked?
But I
am there. I saw that they're having a problem. I should go and start asking them, are you registered?
No,
I'm letting you know. No, I think you're drifting. You're trying to make it a personal attack, and that doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. No, it doesn't make any sense.
You made us here believe that filmmakers are not being supported. And you chose
by who?
Hold on.
By who? What did I say? No. By who?
An example.
By who? Who did I mention?
You said beyond the government that even the people.
Exactly. I'm talking about individuals. I'm talking about individuals, and then you're making it about your structure.
No.
I didn't talk about the DGN here.
It's not about my structure.
And that's where I'm going to get mad. No, that's what you're doing.
It's about the government structure.
No, then I did not talk about the government. Why are you making me my conversation about the government when I'm talking about the people? I'm talking about people. I'm talking about Agbo.
Over talking me.
No, but you have been doing that. You have been attacking me here over and over. I'm talking about how young filmmakers do not make good structure. And I don't like that.
I picked a point.
Yes.
He said that he visited a set, and in giving an example of what he witnessed on that set, he wanted to drive home a point that even people beyond the government are not supportive of filmmakers, which, if you look at it, is factual. However, I made further inquiry to ask these people that did this thing, not him, the filmmakers that were there that experienced this thing, did they register this production?
And I don't know that.
Good. And I said, because it wasn't about him, I said that if these people belonged to a structure, there was no way they were going to go through this, because every single day I sit in my office and I solve those kind of situations. And I'm not making it. It's not about you, sir. It's about the information we're passing out there. If you're a young filmmaker, if you're an old filmmaker, well, whoever you are in the industry, you have two responsibilities. One is to do the right thing. What is the right thing? Do not jump in. You cannot go and start practicing medicine or law or any of these known professions without first and foremost asking yourself
again.
Let me finish.
Again, this is not the problem. This is not the. Do you understand? He's taking it a different angle. I'm telling you that these structures, everything, is something this is not the problem. You're not answering my question.
Yeah. You're always on set. Tell us your experience. Have you encountered any issue, like the productions? Have you seen them? Have you encountered any issue like this? Especially also with the Agbo zone that we're talking about.
So I've had challenges with the Agbo, but again, just to give a little background on how my brother here said how do people react to filmmakers, right? So I grew up in Jos and I started my film career in Jos. And before moving to Lagos, I worked in Jos and Abuja, and before I moved to Lagos. And on no account was I ever harassed in Jos or Abuja with a camera. Nobody ever walked up to me to ask me, what are you people shooting? The most that we had was probably in a market, and because the market is a controlled space, so they walked up and said, oh, what are you shooting? And we explained ourselves, oh, we're interviewing somebody in this store. And that was the end of it. So speaking to his point that he said, the people themselves are also not really encouraging, And contrary to my other experience in Lagos, I was filming a reality TV show, and we were shooting B-rolls in Balogun Market. And I removed my camera and I was taking a low angle shot from the ground. My tripod was right beside me. And from nowhere, someone came, one of those boys, picked my tripod and walked away, right? But my producers were in the market and they had spoken to some of the market people. I can't remember who exactly, whether it was local government or probably people from the Lagos Film Board, but they were already in conversations with them. So I now called them and said, oh, I'm having issues here. Somebody just picked my tripod. So when my tripod was picked, that's when the last mile guys walked up to me and what's your name? What are you doing here? Which station? That's when they tried to engage me. But while I was filming, nobody spoke to me. No policeman said, oh, Oga, be careful, all of that stuff. And I just told him, I said, okay, I've called my people, they are coming. So while we were there, another guy came and held my camera. Go leave him. He started pulling my camera from my hand. And I said, okay, I'm not releasing this camera. You've taken my tripod already. I cannot let this camera go. So the guy now left. So before he came back, my producers and the other market officials now came, and they made a few phone calls, and my equipment came back to me. I will continued filming. So this is one country, but like two different
experiences.
But,
you see what he just said? You see what he just said? You see those phone calls
for seizing your equipment?
They didn't give any reason. There was no clear.
Normally, they won't give you any reason.
No
you see this thing he just said?
Yeah.
That's like a quieter, calmer way of explaining what I've been trying to say. Those phone calls they made went to somewhere. I whether you like it or not, Vanguard, this is your platform. Filmmakers all over Nigeria should know that there are systems and structure. Don't fall a victim of picking a camera. Yes, we know that digitalization of filmmaking has made filmmaking a common craft whereby anybody can pick any form of camera and experiment. Unlike back in the days when the actual film equipment, film camera is what is being used, like 35mm or whatever, where you cannot even afford it because it's quite an expensive, camera to buy. Now we can use our phones to do films. Please, before you start making films, find systems and structures that can protect you, because now you even had an opportunity to drag your camera and say you are not leaving it, and the person even was gracious enough to leave it and not give you one punch on the face. So why do you want to risk yourself and getting there to do it and now wait for intervention when that intervention ought to have been on ground before you go? Even in the same America we always quote, before you shoot on the street, there are series of permits that you get that they can even block streets for you to film. When I've forgotten the name of the movie now, was shot in Lagos in Third Mainland Bridge. One arm of the Third Mainland Bridge was completely closed down, and if you are driving past, you will see where they say film making in progress. Do you understand? So there are these things are in place by the, I'm not even talking about guild system, I'm talking about the government structures that can protect you as a filmmaker. But because we believe, we'll just run and sharp.
So let me even say something. Sorry, let me say something to this. No, let me say something about this now.
I can tell you categorically. The only reason why you go online, let me answer.
Okay.
The only reason why you go online to start that complaint is because, one, you didn't register. Because if you registered, you will pick up your phone and call the office. And if the office does not respond, when you're going online, you're not just calling out the Agbo, you're not calling the office that you registered and they did not respond. So in any of those things that they put online, have you heard them say, oh, we engaged Lagos State Film and Video Censors Board, and despite having engaged them, gotten their permits, gotten their stickers, gotten their men on ground, were harassed? Have you ever heard that? No. What you will hear is that these people are not allowing us shoot. It's an age of social media and an age of
let me just say something to what he said. First of all, no filmmaker that even has a film experience goes to film without permits. That's number one.
A lot.
They produce, no, I don't know the filmmakers that do that, but me, I don't do that. Even the documentary we just did, I don't do that. We always pay for permits. We always find a way to make sure that we get permits. The conversations that your producers had, we did not even know who she called. It could be the police or guy or somebody in authority that they know. I feel like I'm not saying structures are not right, you understand, but this structure should be informed to filmmakers. How many of the film schools, what is the process? I feel like what should be done should be letting people know, just like he's doing it now on the podcast.
There's not enough
I don't think there's
job. So
this is what I'm saying, because there's no filmmaker that goes to film in Lagos without permits. Do you understand? The job of the filmmaker is find knowledge. It's not true.
But if you're saying that
it's not true
about sickness also, you don't.
I know the numbers. That's why I know the numbers.
The person that's getting sick. As
a filmmaker, you're not.
Let me finish. Let me finish.
You're the doctor who refused to be
finish. I know that filmmakers always get.
A filmmaker is not a sick person.
Filmmakers, do you know that there are filmmakers? They tell filmmakers, okay, after getting permits, they tell them, oh, as much as you've gotten permits, when you reach here, you go still settle this person, settle that person, settle this person.
Where do you get this permit?
And this
is another question.
Let me finish now.
Okay.
You're explaining something, and you're talking about
I'm
structure.
asking a question on me.
No, you can't be asking me a question that is for a general public. Do you understand?
Okay.
Now, what I am saying is, there is something like this. This is a solution that you're providing as a body, as a structure. You've come in, you've revamped things, right? You've created a structure. Hi, filmmakers, this is a structure that works. You guys need to be this. You guys need to be. I feel like maybe more information should also be put out there for those that don't know, because I can categorically tell you that film production, for them to pay all the money, that they have permits. I don't know. Just like we don't know who their producer called. Do you understand? We can't just always be generalizing that filmmakers are not doing this. They're just picking up camera and going everywhere to. That's such a generic statement to make. There are people that break the law. Are there people that break the law? Yes, there are people that go and film without all those things. But you can't be saying that it's more. You don't have that.
I know. I have data. That's why this year, I will tell you for free. This year alone, in Lagos State Film and Video Censors Board, the amount of registration there is way less than 100.
Why?
Hold on. I'm coming to that. You asked me, how do I know? I'm putting it to you that 90% of productions in Lagos don't get registered, because records don't lie. Year in, week out, films are released on YouTube. On the average, every week right now on YouTube, you get about 10 films. On the average, shot in Lagos, various, different platforms. On the average, you also have a lot that go on TV. Most of these independent filmmakers don't go for permit. It's a fact. In fact, when I asked the executive secretary, she said, well, why she's not disturbing them is that she's focused more on those coming from outside the country, that she wants to make sure that they understand that you need this permit, right? Locals, filmmakers, right? yes, we should do more in sensitizing them, but filmmakers should also do themselves a favor. Just the same way you go to film school to go and learn how to make film. When you are done, you go and learn how to make the business of film. He went to school, read theater, did some other film schools, right? Came out today. He just told you that he did a producing class with British Council. That is him learning the business of film, right? You will learn all these things, but you now refuse to learn the laws that govern the work, or you think there's no law at all. As a matter of fact, there are certain laws. If I begin to say here now, you know that you have broken more laws than you even know. And like they say in law, the ignorance of it is not an excuse. So your job, has any filmmaker, most of these people you mentioned, sat down to read the code that they established the Nigerian Film and Video Censors Board, the law that they established the Nigerian Film Corporation, the law that they established the Lagos State Film and Video Censors, the law that they established Kano, because Kano also have their own Film and Video Censors Board.
Yeah.
Knowing that there are certain films you release in Lagos with certain cultural pointers
Nuances.
that is against the law, but because you did not read the law, tomorrow they will come and arrest you as a filmmaker. You start go to social media and start shouting. So as a filmmaker, you have a responsibility. Nobody is coming to teach you, sir. Just the same way you found time to go and learn how to make film, find time to go and learn the law that govern the industry you're operating. Like I said, a medical doctor will not just finish reading medicine and jump into going to open somebody's stomach because he has now been certified a medical doctor. He will read other laws that govern the craft or the art or the science which he is going to venture into, and the code that established the NMA, Nigerian Medical Association. Same thing with the Nigerian Bar Association. So why is it that filmmaking is the only industry, or maybe one of the few industries in Nigeria, where anybody and everybody and anybody can just walk in and walk out? And you want me to sit down here and defend filmmakers alone? I will defend filmmakers where it is necessary. But whereas you as a filmmaker has not been able to go again, I maintain we cannot move forward in this country as a whole without systems and structures. We can't, because the singular fact that some of us enjoy the chaos. You know, a lot of people can troll our president, troll our governor, troll senators, right? A lot of us online, we can troll these people in government. But have you done your own, in your own little way where you operate? Do you follow the law? We want is the easy way. We want the shortcut. A lot of filmmakers want the shortcut. They feel like certain processes have, a lot of people release their films without it being censored or classified. They do that. Why? In fact, I can tell you for free that 90 to 95% of films on YouTube today are not classified by the Nigerian Film and Video Censors Board. Tomorrow, when they clamp down on a YouTube owner, they will carry it to the government, and they will carry it to the social media and say, government is taking food away from us. Have you done what the government asks you to do? Have you followed the law? Just to cap it up, I'm a man who believes in systems and structure, right? Yes, I started making film as a student. In fact, in my year 2 as a university student, I made my first film. I was ignorant of everything. But right there, I think I was telling you that story when we were outside. Right there on that film set, somebody from my set was calling the then president of Directors Guild of Nigeria, saying the person directing me here. In fact, Chimotalago was the person. Let me mention him. Chimotalago said the person directing me here is not a member of DGN. He said I was not going to direct him. He said, as far as I'm not a DGN member, then was even when the guild structure was very powerful. That was when the younger generation started seeing it as gatekeepers. Chimotalago said I wasn't going to direct him if I was not a member of DGN. Then, before God in heaven and man on earth, that was the first time I was hearing the word DGN. I said, which one is this? You know, eventually when I got across to the then president and the Amenechi, the way he spoke to me on the phone put more fear in me. Like, I was like, if this is how you guys do this, I'm not going to join. But then, I realized that over the time, and I started getting interested in guild structure. When I left school, went to service, started working in a film production house. First thing I did was to apply to register. Mind you, the people, because then I was producing already, but I was not directing. Now, because I'm not directing now, because I was told that they are not going to allow me direct them because I'm not a member. So now I hired their members to come and direct. And when I see them call shots, give blockings, something in me tells me I can do better. But I allowed the system to play through today. And I know there's so many issues I could have encountered beyond them saying I wasn't going to direct them and all of that. But because I was part of a system, I was able to go through it. So what I'm saying is, when you finish film school, before you practice, read, make research, check systems in place. Nigerians will like abusing system. A regular driver here in Lagos will beat traffic light and feel like nothing just happened. The same person travels to America, to Britain, to other parts of the world. Guess what? Nobody go call him for phone say obey the traffic law rule. Why? Somehow he knows that the system will checkmate him. Or you pass the traffic now when it's on red. When you even any European country can pass.
Boom, boom, you're allowed to.
So you know why? Because we believe here in this country we can cheat system, cheat structure, and blame the system when it doesn't favor us.
So
All
again,
right,
I just feel like I feel like you learned from a place of doing. You could have learned after school. This is just me to conclude, right? You could have learned after school. It means that you got to his point and you experienced something, and then it opened your eyes to more information. So instead of just maybe concluding that many of these people just don't want to, maybe you want to give them room to believe and provide information in a way that it is now that they saw the information or they found out, do you understand, or experienced the information. For example, if many different people experience this thing the way you experienced it, there's no way they will not join the system. They will. So to just conclude that people don't is a lot of is a strong conviction that they just want to break the law. And I don't think that's how
from a place of information.
Yeah, but me, when I speak from a place of empathy and understanding, and knowing that everybody's experience is different, and their experience, their exposure to information is also different. People come into information gradually. He filmed in Jos without any problem, and maybe by the time he was filming in Jos, maybe he wasn't part of any guild and he didn't know that. But coming to Lagos and experiencing this might now give him the information that, oh, now you know this. But he could have come to Lagos and continued because there's no information like that. Do you understand? So we have to make rooms for people.
Country.
Yeah, it's okay for people to not know, but it's not okay for people to just judge them based on the fact that, oh, you don't know, so you don't. No, you have to put things in a way that people will understand. Like, oh, this is what actually. I feel like this is going to be very informative to a lot of people, and you're going to see people are going to join because somehow this has become a channel where information has been spread out, and people are now being taught about these things. So if people don't experience, sometimes there are many people that are in their loopholes everywhere making films in Nigeria. Many of them don't have this information. That's my own. So let's not judge them. Let's find a way to get them to come on board, or make sure that, oh, we're trying to protect you. We provide a lot of information in a way that way, if we come, you don't feel like, you understand, nobody's trying to break the law intentionally.
I'm sure there's so many people who don't want to pay legal money to all these agreements.
Yeah, so it's not even, again, just for clarity, I'm not talking about guilt and association only. When I say systems and structure, I'm talking about the general system and structure that the government provides. I'm not even saying you must be a member of the guild. Like I've said, when I came in, I said I'm not in a chase to bring everybody in. I'm in a chase to create value for the guild members, so that those who are not members will ask, where are you getting this value? And they want to join. So I'm not here to advertise guild per se. I'm here to advertise systems and structure. I'm here to say, please know what the government is saying. The mantra in my own home is obey all the laws. Let your neighbor break it. You are not your neighbor. Obey all the laws. So if I'm driving in the middle of the night, right, and I get to a red light in the night, I park my car. Cars are flying past me. I can do that. But this culture I have is that I can't break this law. Not because anybody is watching me, but because in my mind, I do not wish to break it. I don't want to be among the 99.9% others who can do it and get away with it. Because you might be very unlucky that the day you now choose to break it is the day
you get
that the actual people are waiting for you. So that my lady who I will really wish to help, right, if I had known this kind of situation. And like I always say, when you experience certain things in the industry, why we as leaders exist is, if you know us, call us somehow, right? There's a certain issue currently going in the industry, people don't even know. A lot of people are being picked by EFCC
Chineke me.
for naira mutilation. A lot of people in the industry are being currently quietly picked by EFCC.
Why?
By
Why?
naira mutilation. You go for party.
You
So if
spend
you're a
money in
celebrity, you are known, and you are going to parties, you're going to anywhere spraying money, you might be shocked that they have your video.
Wow.
Because the last person we tried to help to get out of it told us in confidence that they showed him barrage of videos of our industry people on the list. So this is a law.
Yeah.
Do not abuse the naira. Even if you're a celebrity, don't abuse the naira. People will not hear. Luckily, the last issue we've been handling, we kept it off the media, refused to mention the name of the person and all of that, right? But there are many of our people who are on the radar. And that's because the law said do not spray money, and they're spraying it. Do you understand? So one day, the law said do not broadcast your film until it is censored and classified. And you are doing it. Whether it is short film, documentary, feature film, whatever it is, film is film. They say do not broadcast it unless it is censored or classified, as case may be. Luckily, the current DG of Nigerian Film and Video Censors Board we have is not even interested in censorship right now. He's more interested in classification. So he's not holding you. And they have made the process so seamless that 24 hours, 48 hours, your movie is out. Yet, our people
Still no.
want to cut corners. Even the cost of that classification has reduced. Yet, our people want to cut corners. So it's not even, I'm not picking any particular case. I'm saying filmmakers do the right things. It helps us who are leaders to protect you or to speak for you when the need arises. Because sometimes when they call me and I ask 2 or 3 or 4 questions and I realize you are at fault, it becomes even more difficult. Because now I began to, the worst thing I hate to do is to tell a law enforcement agency, sorry, I beg. I hate it. I like to be on the right path. Let it be that he is wrong. And I'm now quoting the law for him. But by the time you are wrong or your people are wrong and you are trying to now talk with him, you are now, I beg, please. So please, filmmakers, beyond this conversation, go and read, find out, research, know what the laws are saying, so that you don't knowingly or unknowingly fall into such traps. And let me also admit, finally, that yes, we have a difficult terrain in Lagos. And it is not just with filmmakers. It is the fact that you can be walking into the Balogun market even without carrying camera. It is the fact that I sitting down here when I came to Lagos newly in Ikeja computer village, somebody has collected 1,500 naira from me that I don't know what it is for till today. Why? He just noticed that I was JJC. Because the way I was walking and the way I was moving into the market, I think he sighted me, weighed me up, and when he came to me with smelly alcohol feeling, with the kind of harsh tone, I caved. And everything in my pocket at that material point in time, physical cash on my pocket at that 1,500 lucky me. Because if I had more, probably I would have given him more. And I don't know why till today so it's not just being just a filmmaker that those kind of harassments happen. Again, I go to House on the Rock and they taught us what we call spiritual authority. Everybody's an authority where you stand. You see that gate man that locked you people out? He's an authority.
Where he is.
Whereas he's an authority standing there. He has a bigger authority. And he's right somehow to say if my CSO does not allow me, because he is working under authority. What needed to have been done in that particular moment is to find out that CSO, what is making him keep them. Again, it comes from a place of knowledge, right? And if you have paid 4 million, my God, what permit is 4 million? Because I can tell you for free that there's no permit in Lagos State that is even up to 30% of that.
The number of
the money was paid. That means it's not permit, it's for the location, right?
No, it's part of it. Like everything inclusive.
So it's not just
the permit, it's the location for using Unilag. Now you're talking. Because you're paying for location fee, right? That could be location fee. That means what it means is that you have paid Unilag to be able to use their facility to film, and that is what the money is meant for. That makes sense. What does not now exist is that maybe the security have their own permits that you didn't pay for. Are they wrong by saying go and get it? No. But at that moment, you already stressed. So you are upset with them, having paid this 4 million for this location, you're not allowing me. Or probably the person that collected that 4 million did not tell you that the security too needed to have gotten their funds.
All right, let's come back to the AMVCA.
Yeah.
We've got back. So the AMVCA, it's about Africa, African, and it's like, but it's more
Nigeria.
like Nigeria. Why? Why? It's because I'm not here. I don't think. I mean, as much as we're saying, so film, and sometimes I also go through the list. Like last year, I remember I went through and I started watching the film one after the other to understand why they won the award. Because there are some that you hear, oh, this got so nominations. We're still going to talk about that, and they didn't win any award. But but I didn't see. Hardly do I see other African countries. Why only Nigerians? I mean,
so there are actually African countries that have nominations, even though they might not be as much as the submissions from Nigeria, because if you look at it, right, Nigerian is a country of numbers, right? As much as other industries celebrate quality, we're happy to churn out 100 films in 1 month, right? So by a fair share size of number, our industry will grow in terms of scale, and you have more submissions from us, more trial and error will happen, more people will fail, and more people will make good films, right? So by virtue of that, and also by proximity, AMVCA is hosted in Lagos. It sits in Lagos, so its popularity will majorly be in Nigeria. So by all of these factors, they have a way of influencing where the nominations tilt to. Not because that we make better films, right? But some of these factors have a way of influencing it.
Yeah.
And again, if you look at our own film structure, it's like how do I describe it? It's like a trade system. You have interest in production, you call your friend, you pick up a camera, and boom, a production company is found. But it's not like that in other African countries. A lot of francophone countries rely on grants. Before a grant comes, it takes probably 6 months or 1 month, so it has influenced how many films you make within a particular period. But because of it's a DIY process, you call your brother, they'll give you money. So all of that game of numbers has a way of just making it look like Nigerians are saturating the AMVCA.
Yeah, and then they opened the platform, like it was online. It's just like the submission was done via Film Freeway. So majorly Nigerians make a lot of films that they just go submit to festival, look for opportunities to submit to. So most of these countries, like there's something AMVCA did that I liked this year. They celebrated indigenous films. They gave awards
from last year.
Oh yeah.
They did
So yeah, I wasn't there last year, but this year they did, in the different indigenous languages. They did Southern African, Western African, and East Africa. So, and I felt like that was them being inclusive. Do you understand? So it's like these people, maybe if they submitted more too, you understand, maybe it could be like that, but I felt like we had a lot more submissions from Nigeria.
For me, I feel the most important thing is that African Magic makes their call for entry is public and it is online. And so I'm sure they are not going to go from one African country to the other, knocking on their doors and asking them to submit their films. And nominations are going to be about the best films out of the movies that were submitted. And the platform is open for every African to submit. So, I would think, which is where me personally, I said I disagree with my brother. I would think that those nominations are the best films that come out of Africa that were submitted for AMVCA. So you never can tell. Maybe other African countries have submitted their own films, but as Nigerians, we produce the best films in Africa. So we deserve to have more nominations. That is one part. The second part is that, look, whether we want to, make a fuss out of it or not, you have to look in context. Let us even think about it for a moment. It is called African Magic, which is a channel. Viewers Choice Award. I'm deliberating where I put comma. African Magic, comma, Viewers, comma, Choice Award. So, if we are going to go with the original context of the name, it should actually be movies on African Magic that have been nominated. Because it's meant to be their viewer's choice, right? However, it's been expanded. However, it's been expanded to accommodate other productions of films that are not within that are not shown on African Magic. And so it gives opportunity to everybody who is a filmmaker in the continent to submit their film. And so there are people who may think that their film are not good enough to submit, so they miss the opportunity to submit. And there are others who are very keen on submitting. And if you understand Nigeria is a very competitive environment. We are always willing to win. And so, as AMVCA have passed now, every other African country, now I'm speaking on Vanguard Live, other African country, I invite you to prepare your submission for the next edition of AMVCA. I'm saying it now live to you. Please go and prepare. Because don't come next year and ask us the same question, why do we have more Nigerian films? We are preparing. I'm sure that my young man is already shooting another one. My brother is already, I'm sure that a lot of young filmmakers, Nigerians, vibrant filmmakers who have watched AMVCA and how classy it is, are already preparing for next year. So please, prepare your own. And when the call for entries comes out, please endeavor to submit. It is free, right? It's free. So please endeavor to submit. So let's know. But I'm sure Nigeria will also get more nominations because we make better films.
All right, let's talk about some of the films that got nominated.
Okay.
We have Behind the Scenes, 6 or 5 nominations. Ginger, 9 nominations, no wins.
Okay.
Is it that do we have some things, are there some requirements that they didn't meet? What are some of the things they look into in order to determine the films that wins this thing? Because on social media, I mean, we have people 9 nominations, Behind the Scene, the best film, this one, no wins.
Okay.
So I would like to get your opinion on this.
Okay. So first, I wasn't a member of the jury. So, but what I do know as a founder of a festival, what I do know is that for every jury that is appointed, there's usually criteria that they use to judge, for the various categories. And sometimes the difference between the winner and the other could just be the test board of that jury. It may not be that necessarily there's much different, because once movies are nominated, first and foremost, they are winners already, right? However, the test board of the jury can be that notch higher that you can use to say, oh, this film won this category. That is one arm of my argument. The second arm of my argument is, look, if we're going to be factual, if I played in a film and it is drama and I put a strong performance, and he plays in a film and it is thriller and he put a strong performance, and he played in a film and it is horror and he put a strong performance, and 3 of us are nominated on the same category of lead actor, I think it's unfair. Because the emotional requirements it requires to embody a character of a drama, thriller, and horror differ. And so people might get nominated, but like I said, in the immediate moment, as long as your film has been nominated, please, I beg you, celebrate it. It's a win. Because what that person that won that film may have used to win it may not really be technical. It may just be taste of the person judging. Or it might be technical. But whichever way, celebrate your nomination as a win.
But 9.
9, hold on, I'm coming at that. I'm coming. Now, what's this movie, the Afro futuristic movie, Wakanda?
Okay.
You know how many nominations Wakanda had at the Oscars? He didn't win any. I don't think he won any. But the same director came back with Sinners and cleared a lot of awards. In the last Oscars. It happens. If I'm the filmmaker, am I going to be happy about it? No. But this year, to be fair, presented a lot of competitions. A lot. In fact, when I sitting down there and seeing the nominees, I was happy that anybody who wins in any of the category has done well, because all the films actually. So you cannot now say, and remember that for every of the category there are technicals that they used to judge it. So if, for instance, all these films are nominated under costume. Maybe in that particular category, there's one film out of that is not that your own that will win it, and then they come with best lead actor. There are another person who also put a strong performance. Remember, AMVCA is categorized into two. There is the jury that determine, and then there's the audience that votes. So, if some of your categories fall under the audience choice, that's the one they will vote. The onus is also on you to promote it amongst your fan base for them to vote for you to win, because that one the jury has no hand, majorly has no hand in it. But the one that the jury determine, the best you can get is a nomination. And when you get that nomination, you should say that you're a winner already.
So what do you have to say about it, Precious?
I think he has basically answered everything. I don't think I have a different opinion. The only, like I said, I don't think the people that won do not deserve it. That's just my own. There are some films that you mentioned I have not watched, so I can't really judge per se. But from some of the films that I watched, like My Father's Shadow and Co. No. So I think for me, I like the fact that these conversations are coming up. It shows that we're doing something right with filmmaking. Do you understand? People are saying, oh, these films are supposed to also win. It's interesting that those conversations could come up. And that's what film is supposed. That's what awards are for. It's the validation that, okay, yes, this is what you're doing. But the truth is that it's subjective at the end of the day.
Exactly.
And art is something that is very experimental personally. The way it speaks to you is not the same way to speak to him and every other person. So the fact that they got 9 nominations, that's a lot. There are many films, like he has mentioned, at the Oscars, years and years and years. There was even the time that even in music, there are sometimes that some popular people like Beyonce, they never won. They would nominate them.
Except there's something that she is trying to say that we are not understanding.
Well, basically, I don't think my opinion is different at all. Yeah.
Okay, so let me ask you: was there any particular award or any particular film or any particular category that you think of so film won or so person won, and you think that they don't deserve? Let me ask you that. Yeah.
I don't think there's any category that I felt that they were not deserving of the award, because just as my president said, for you to be nominated, there's something that you've done right. And if you pick a pencil and a sketch pad and you give to 2 different artists, they will start the same still life drawing from 2 different perspectives. One will start from the leg, one will start from the ear, right? One will decide to use cross sketching technique, one will decide to use pointillism. At the end of the day, is what you create, and art is all about how you perceive it. So you can't outrightly say, oh, these guys did bad or these guys did well. It's a beautiful work of art and we'll celebrate it regardless of how it was made, how it was presented.
Okay, so like, what changes or improvements do you wish to see, like in the future, or like in future awards, like AMVCA awards, like what improvement do you see? I mean, you talked about the fashion and the fact that you believe that most people should personally promote their own films. What other changes do you like to see? So maybe we should start with Precious.
I wish you didn't start with me because so for me the major changes would be, I don't know what opportunities can come out from, I mean, it's the first time I'm experiencing it, so it's too soon. We just won like 2 days, 3 days ago. But I don't know what opportunities can come out for younger filmmakers, and what conversations. For me, the most important thing would be, the conversation should be, I hope the conversation becomes more about films and about, artistic voice and choices that, the effort and people are making. I also hope that people behind the scenes get celebrated a lot, because there are a lot of people that do a lot behind the scenes. I don't know if there's a category that is going to go for them. I don't know whether they should create something, but there are people that I know that put their life down for film, for some projects, and somehow it just feels like nobody created a category for them to get,
Like, can you mention some of those categories?
I think this year did they do best gaffer this year? I don't think they did.
Lighting,
lighting
yes.
design.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, I think there was light.
I
think there was light. There was sound.
Or
There was light.
Yeah.
Previous years we've had lights.
No, there was light. I think I remember.
Yeah.
I remember. There's light. There was sound.
Yeah.
The first categories of award that was given, I think there was costume, there was light, there was sound.
Okay, I knew there was production design. I knew there was
production
costume,
design.
I
Yeah.
knew there was
I think they
But then
take
when
it-
you
they
give
take it
production
like-
design, right, you literally have given the visual. Because
Yeah.
what is not just the setup that makes the production design, light also
works.
impacts
Yeah.
on it. But just to take it up from what he has said, so for me personally, I think AMVCA has been good. I think we've seen there are some years that I personally, fought, wrote episodes, that the year was the year a cooking show won the best indigenous Igbo film. That was when they used to give 3 languages, Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, before they, collapsed it into indigenous language, West Africa, East Africa, and all of that. But those years are past. And so now I can say for a fact the 12th AMVCA was a great show.
Yeah, it was.
I think from the conceptualization upward, it was a great show. I know there's also room for improvement. However, if you ask me from today to tomorrow, what particular improvement, you've said it. He has highlighted it, and I will repeat it. Let us make it more about the films.
Yeah.
There should be deliberate effort from the promotion to how the nominations are being talked about to profiling. I feel like every nominee should be profiled ahead of time, promoted, given enough screen time. I mean, this for me should be a key improvement, because I want to sit down here or sit down in any other place year after year and discuss these films. I want to be, if possible, for want of better word, I want to be pushed to go and watch these films because of the amount of screen time, and hype that those films, receive. Other than talk about fashion, beautiful, but for me, let us figure out a way that these films, the nominations in terms of the films, the filmmakers, and all whatnot. In terms of the people that they appreciate, I think categories have actually even improved.
Yeah.
I was in the hall and I heard we've done 17. We're halfway gone, and I'm like, so how many awards in total? I think it was Bofi that said that thing.
Yes.
After 17 awards, they said we've done 17. We're halfway gone. I said, whoa, which means there's a lot more categories, and that means they've been able to expand. I think the only category that I wish there's a way to be rewarded, unfortunately, I don't know if there's any way they can be judged, are the production assistants. These guys do the hardest part of the job. They drag the generator, they run the wire. I mean, these guys are part of the engine room of the production, and they are the most neglected, the least paid, yet the least celebrated. But I don't also know whether there is a way, because again, production assistants working there. I don't know how you cannot look at the film and say this is the role of the production assistant. So there's maybe during the young filmmakers day, because actually you also have that. My suggestion would be maybe during the young filmmakers day, if they can invite as much as production assistants, those who are really into production assistants, and then see a way to support them. That would be really nice. But apart from that, I don't think there's any category that can be carved out for them. But beyond that, right, I think AMVCA is really covering ground, a lot more ground in terms of categories. And I also like the fact that they have started creating categories for their own originals, which means they're not letting behind their own viewers' choice. Right?
Yeah.
So in as much as they are doing the general AMVCA, they're also still carrying along their own viewers to make choices. I wish also, maybe this will be one of the improvements, I wish they don't just restrict it to their own originals. I wish they can open it up to all the films on their platform. So whether it is their originals or a film done by an independent that is showing on their platform, as long as the film is on the platform, let it compete under that category rather than making it just their originals. Because if you compete under that category, then you give my brothers in the East who make a lot of and Asaba axis who make a lot of films for the epic, for the those kind of channels. Then you give them a chance, to compete on that, because it is your platform. And if you do not celebrate actors, filmmakers, you don't find a way to accommodate actors, filmmakers who, in fact, let me even speak directly to AMVCA. Please, your show is beautiful, it's nice. However, there's a huge complaint from a great number of actors and filmmakers who make films for your platform, for whether it is Epic, whether it is Showcase, whether it is Yoruba, Igbo, Hausa channels, with all other channels you have. Find a way to include these people in your nomination. So rather than make it just simply your originals, find a way to make it as nominations for all the films in your platform. And maybe even leave it out for a voting category so that your audience can actually vote and you can celebrate those ones as well.
Okay, so we are talking about, I think I do hear the word Asaba Wood. I don't know if that is the
It doesn't
correct,
exist.
Correct. So why do
Asaba
people
Wood does
not
not
call it
exist.
Asaba Wood?
You called it now.
No, but it's.
I
it's
said
a
when I
word
spoke,
that
I
we-
said our
Precious, have you
filmmakers
said
that
it?
are based in Asaba.
Mm.
You now called it Asaba.
No, I didn't
Wood.
call it Asaba Wood. It's,
But
it's the
you-
word I
you
see.
said-
That's why I asked, is it
Okay.
correct or not? Because that is what I.
Yeah, she
What's
wants
the
to know.
question?
She wants to know.
What's the
That's what I
question?
read. That's Asaba Wood. Is it something that is existing or not? Why are you laughing? We
Okay,
have
so-
everybody
so-
behind the camera
so-
also
so-
laughing.
no, why I'm
Because I
asking-
said, Precious,
no, why I'm
am I the
asking
only
you
one
that
that's
question
seen
now,
it?
why I'm asking
Am I
that
the only
question?
one that's seen it?
No, why I'm asking you that
No, no.
question is that you are not the only one that have seen Asaba Wood,
Okay.
but you are the only one who have used it here.
Okay.
So now, I've also seen Oyo Wood.
Okay.
I've seen Kani Wood.
Okay.
I've seen Igbo Wood. So the truth is, we
So-
just
so the
we
only
love
wood.
we love to bastardize things, right? We just love to bastardize. Now there's a chunk of films. There's a chunk of film happening in
YouTube would.
no, Atlanta, right? There's a lot of films being shot in Atlanta.
Yeah.
My mentor, Tyler Perry, has a studio in Atlanta, and a lot of Hollywood guys are coming to shoot. But have you ever heard about Atlanta Wood? So it is one Hollywood. Whether you're shooting in the wood,
Nolly.
or you're shooting in the Nolly, or you're shooting in Mexico, or New Mexico, or whatever, anywhere you're shooting in America, they have one industry. I think the problem with us in Nigeria is that we carry ethnicity into everything. We ethnicize. I'm not sure this is correct English, but let me just use it. We just bring in ethnicity over everything. Film is a universal language. There shouldn't be Asaba Wood. There should be one Nollywood, right?
Yeah.
But just like everywhere in the world, there is grade A, B, C, D of films. Now, in Nigeria, right, I run a film festival, so I've seen films from America that when you watch, you'll be like, no, I'm not sure this movie is from America. But they will show you the BTS, they will show you the, and you know this movie was shot in America.
Yeah.
But it cannot even compete with our own grade B. That means it cannot compete with those films made in Asaba. But it was shot in America. But the reason why we don't criticize it is because they don't get international distribution, so we don't get to see it in the cinema. In fact, we don't even get to know about it. So every country has low-end films and high-end films.
Okay.
And that is what makes the industry good and great. The reason why today you can talk as Nollywood and say you have the number is because the people exist in Asaba. In fact, that platform African Magic, I can beat my chest and say from Asaba, Enugu and Southeast Axis, they supply almost 60% of that, the content that sustain that platform. So we need them. Well, no, it's important. So me, there's nothing called Asaba Wood for me. There's nothing like that. There's only one Nollywood. But there are filmmakers who are based in Asaba. There are filmmakers. Asaba is a film hub. Enugu is a film hub. Lagos is a film hub. Kano is a film hub. Plateau is a film hub. Port Harcourt is a film hub. Abuja is a film hub. Uyo is a film hub. We have a lot of film hubs across the country. If you go by Asaba Wood, that means we must have Uyo Wood, Enugu Wood, Kano
And
Wood.
we have Kannywood. We have, I think I do.
You didn't call it Kano
I
Wood,
don't-
call it Kani Wood.
They call it
They
Kannywood.
call it Kani Wood, but is it
They call it
supposed to
Kanny
be?
or your wood. So they call it. all
Yes,
of
the
them.
question is why. Just like the dichotomy of new Nollywood and old Nollywood, I don't believe in that. I believe there is one Nollywood.
Yeah.
We only have improvement. See, you call me an old Nollywood today, don't worry. AI is
It's a
here.
matter of time.
AI is here. Give it 20 years. You can be the old Nollywood
Yeah,
too.
would.
You can be an old Nollywood too. So there's no need saying old Nollywood, new Nollywood. I don't believe in all of that.
Yes.
Industry evolve. Even America, even Bollywood, even China wood, if there's anything like that, the Chinese film industry, they evolve. So let's not stop. Let's stop with this whole nomenclature garb that we put up. No, Nollywood is Nollywood. I agree. Some of the some productions in terms of technical storytelling and all of that are not at par with some production, and that's why they will always be grade A, grade B, grade C, grade D movies. And so let's not segregate and say, okay, this one is this one. Trust me, there are filmmakers in Asaba that are better filmmakers than some people that live in Lagos.
True.
The unfortunate thing they may have is that one, they may not have the budget, two, the technical collaboration. I sat down to watch a lot of movies from Asaba. The only two things I can point out in few of them that are the major issue is not the storytelling, it's not the story, it's not the acting. It's the fact that one, for me, production design. And that production design include lighting. So if you do a proper production design in a film that will be shot in Asaba, do a proper production design, do a proper lighting, right? Use the same actors, same everything, you will get a different result. So good filmmaking is not determined by location or geographical enclave. Good filmmaking or bad filmmaking, if there's anything like that, I don't believe there is anything like that though. But filmmaking is not determined by geographical location, right? So I don't believe in it. Some people might use it, but I think it is people who are suffering from what I call superiority complex, which is a problem in its own.
Okay, so we're trying to round up now, but
I have one more solution towards the AMVCA. I think one of the major problems that we have in this industry is distribution. It's not easy to have access to films. Either the larger population cannot afford cinema tickets, or they're struggling with piracy. But I feel that if we feel we trust the AMVCA enough to submit our films to their festival, the AMVCA can have a conversation with the filmmakers and see that they can get a sort of a distribution window, even if it means have a day or two and broadcast some of these films that were selected or nominated, right? Then a larger audience will have access to them and appreciate them, because some of the films were not popular films. They were good films, amazing films, but due to their artistic nature and its distribution style, a lot of people didn't really watch them. So in the hall, when they got some of these awards, you could hear that
there is no reaction.
Cheers were not as loud as other films,
people
right?
did
So
not identify.
if I know some of these films already have distributions with some other platforms prior to the AMVCA, but I feel that these filmmakers can have a conversation with the AMVCA and have those films, even if it's just for a short window, and you do publicity. Oh, we are going to screen the best film or the best actor category, for this so day, and a lot of your audience will key into it. We are struggling to tune on to TV now. The social media that is distracting us, so they can look into that window too and just capitalize on that.
Yeah, very, very, very powerful suggestion, because left for me, I think, I thought when you started, I was thinking that you're going towards them becoming a distribution. But then when your suggestion is quite apt, because what it then means is that they will pay, at least from there's certain amount of money, to say, okay, we're going to do this for a month or two, so non-exclusive, a month or two, so all the films that were nominated can be screened within that period. I think it's a good suggestion, because it's a win-win situation. Win-win, because one, advertisers are going to launch onto it, because there's going to be a lot of publications and they will earn from it. At the same time, filmmakers are going to get some payment from the advertisers who are going to launch on it. And then those who have not seen the film, or like my anchor, who is still trying to understand why certain films win certain categories, can now get to have the opportunity to watch the film and now realize that, oh wow, it's really worth it. Because even all we have said, she's still trying to understand why certain films won certain categories.
The thing that good films have a very long shelf line. Till today, we still watch The Godfather. We still watch The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. So it doesn't matter when the film was made. Right? Entertainment is entertainment.
As long as it's a proper made film, years to come, you still put it on and still work.
Still make it.
So it's not me that is just trying to understand it. I'm telling you what the people want to know. The words on social media. Why is this not winning? Why is that not winning? So let's talk about. I think then there's something I'm now going to talk about my own curiosity, and that's the fact that these awards, do they come with money?
Some.
or some financial?
Some
Some
come,
of them.
some do not.
Okay, so why are some of them coming with money and why some
Sponsors choose the category to sponsor, and when they bring money, they give based on.
Mhm.
Not all the categories have sponsors or advertisers going on it and say, okay, you know what, was taking 5 million, was taking 2 million, was taking 1 million. So some of the categories have sponsors, sponsoring it. Some other categories do not have money. And so, just to put it in proper context, award for me primarily is not really about the money. The money is a part of the motivation, of course. Nobody is going to reject money.
Mhm.
But award is that thing that tells you, we see you, we love you, we appreciate you, well done. That's not what filmmakers get all the time. A lot of filmmakers are constantly chasing the next project.
Yep.
So if they have somebody who can hold them, and a lot of filmmakers are constantly having family problems. Because to be a successful filmmaker,
You're away from your family.
you are constantly going to have issues.
Yeah. Yeah.
In fact, I pity people who come to stage, unless they are not married or they don't have family. They come to stage to receive their award, make their speech without acknowledging home.
True.
Because truth is, as long as a filmmaker, right, I pity people who marry us. Because we are first and foremost married to our craft before you even came along. So we are constantly
On
in
the
that
road.
idea of what next. We're not certain what. So when you see an award, that award system is what makes it all make sense. Sometimes make it make sense for you. Like, wow. So people actually recognize this. People actually saw my work. So that placard, as we are going home with it, there is satisfaction without the money. Do you know what it is to put a spotlight on you when thousands, if not millions of world over watching? That's satisfaction. So yes, I know where you're going to. There should be some sort of pricing, tax and all of that. We should celebrate African magic first and foremost, bringing such spotlights on people. Yes, brands are coming. I think this year we had more brands sponsoring more awards than previous years. So hopefully, as they go, maybe before they get to the 20th or so, we could have even more that can take up some more categories.
Yeah.
So it is only when I believe, because as a business person, when you get money, you spend money. African Magic will not just come and start dishing out money if they're not getting it, right? But it will be very good to really have beyond the placard or beyond the award. It will be really good to have money or other. Some people get lands, some people get cars. If
Equipment.
yes, equipment, materials.
Trailblazer some years ago.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's so and that's because I think they got a car company sponsoring that year. So that's how it works. But I think that award in itself and that celebration of his excellence, and for the fact knowing that he competed amongst his peers and he came out top, is already a satisfaction that he or she is going to go home with.
So if I want to marry a director, what should I keep in mind? What do I have to know that I need to endure? Because you talked about it, and I'm a woman, so I need to understand. And we have female directors, and also we know, but
It's the same problem.
what do I need to understand?
Your husband might fund the next project. Yes.
Yeah.
One of the key things you need to understand is that I can pack my bag at any time and be away for months,
Yeah.
weeks,
Yeah.
and come in and 2 days later I say, darling, sorry, I have to move again.
Wow.
Yeah.
So you must understand that our work is constantly taking us out. Number two, you should also understand that we have a mental problem. Yes, because if I get a script, from the point I get the script, you are living with a different person. From that moment that script comes, it's no longer that your husband that you're living with, because I'm imagining the pictures, I'm imagining this. Sometimes I'm talking to myself, because I'm not really talking to myself, I'm talking to the characters. I'm trying to build the emotions, I'm trying to understand I'm trying to create a world view. I'm trying to think about how the light is going to be, how they're going to sound, how they're going to move. Sometimes I'm acting it out to myself. So you might walk into me being crazy for a moment. So that's for directors who actually take their work seriously, right? So you also know that children that we're giving birth to together, I'm going to be there as much as possible.
But please, bear with me. Sometimes I may not be there when they are playing football or soccer in school. I may not be there when they have a match pass. So the availability of a filmmaker. Sometimes I'm there physically, but mentally, I'm not there.
Yeah.
So that's part of the complex. When you are preparing to go to work by 8, maybe when I'm driving back from location, because I've shot all night. So you may not understand why you're at work and I'm sleeping. And then when we're supposed to be sleeping in the night, I'm shooting. Because our work is like that. So that's part of it. But the good part is that I'm a director who paints pictures. So you're going to expect some romantic moments because I'm going to paint pictures. So whereas it has a bad part, it also has a good part. I'm a director who turns words into actions. So I'm going to be more of a doer than a talker. So there's so much. Sorry, am I selling the directors right? So there's so much. Yeah, there's so much to be happy about with a director. But a director, most importantly, needs peace, needs stability. Because what is going on in his head is, you never really know how difficult it is, the job of a director, until when 20 crew members come to you to ask you, why do you want us to play this blue basket here? Why not red? 20 ask you the same question at the same time, and you have to explain to 20 crew members why a common basket, like basket they used to pack dustbin, why is it blue in color? Why is it not red? Why did you want the blue one? Consumer wants to know, so that you know how to match it. Light man wants to know, sound wants to know, everybody. So when you now start explaining, that's when you know how difficult the job of a director is. Because you sit at the center of it all. The picture guy, the DP guy is telling you, you're going to like this picture, it's a beautiful picture. My brother, it's not a beautiful picture I'm looking for. Is this picture going to tell the story I want to tell at that moment? This movement you want to make now that is shocking you, that it makes you look like it's great. The director is asking 1001 question. If you finish this movement, will it take away the actual attention I want the audience to pay to the artist? And then they'll be watching like, oh wow, see this movement, it turned upside down. Does this help my story?
Yeah.
Because me is saying, say this picture, this clothes fine, gone. No, this woman is crying that is burying the husband. It's not the fine clothes I'm looking for. So there's the way your crew members or everybody is interpreting at that point in time. Because you are the one embodying the vision, you are answering all the questions. So the people who are married to directors will suffer a lot, but at the same time, they will enjoy a lot. Because by the time they sit down to see the world that these directors create, and then luckily, if the director is lucky and he stands on AMVCA and say, I want to thank my wife, without she holding home, I won't be here, and everybody claps, then he finds fulfillment.
So Precious,
are you planning on marrying a director?
No, I'm just asking, but right now it's like it's only 10% taxing for Precious.
Yeah, I like the fact that he said, because he's saying from experience, and being married and all. For me, I'm not married yet, right? And I still find it, I still struggle with the idea of who I want to be with as a life partner, because me, I'm always in my creative space. And most of the times, I get so passionate. Like he also mentioned, I get so passionate that for almost a week, you can be hearing me talk about one subject matter, and it can get boring for you if you don't understand or if you're not coming from also the creative space. So for me, I feel like being married or getting a partner who is, for me, to be honest, I feel like I'm trying to be open-minded, that I believe that I can make it work with everybody's, but I'm trying not to be on every project right now, you get. Because also filmmaking, the reason why directors are always away a lot is because how much do we really earn, as directors?
Which is where we're fighting right now. I put up a post and I said directors should start earning 20% of the budget. And the president of the producers came to me and said, only one person. I said, yes. I said, if you can commit 40% to one actor, why don't you commit 20% to a director? Because at the end of the day, once the script, it's not even when the script is ready, once they conceive the idea, say they want to make a film, the first person they hire is the director.
Yeah.
Then you now start from pre-production.
And then
go over the script over and over and over and over. Production, post-production, you are there. And when the movie comes out and fails,
you're the one.
the emotional
backlash
that you get from all the people, from even your own producers.
Yeah.
If it's not the director, we were telling him on set to do it this way, he said it this way.
Yeah. When a film succeeds,
but when the film succeeds, most often than not in Nigeria, if it's abroad, directors take the credit. But most often than not here in Nigeria, it is the most popular person in the film that gets all the credit. Either as a producer, if the producer is popular, or the director is popular, or the actor.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if you put in all that work and it succeeds, and you are the director who likes to do his quiet job or her quiet job and go home, nobody talks about you. In fact, when they say, if they mention the name of the film, the first person they talk about is the popular person.
Yeah.
That's why it gets tough.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just to conclude, from my observation, I think some of the people that I noticed that have made their relationship work or their marriage work so far that are in our space are the people who are married to filmmakers as well. Either the people who are married to producers, you understand, or the people who are married, because when they go on the journey together, you know, and everybody just understands, oh, this is how it works, and they figure out a pattern. Like I said, for me, I'm trying to find a balance, because if you're a young filmmaker, if you're about to get into filmmaking and you want to do directing, you need to also find another source of income. If not, you'll be jumping from set, you'll be so exhausted.
Just to add, or slightly where I will never be able to marry a filmmaker. Let me put it that way.
Why can't
I cannot marry a film. I'm married now, happily.
Okay.
But I wouldn't have married a filmmaker or an actor. So, if you say why can't we, so when we are going, both of us will be away. Who is going to be with the kids? Who will steady the home?
Right.
So I feel like it's all, well, we have filmmakers marrying filmmakers and they're succeeding. At the end of the day, for everybody's.
But something would give.
Yeah, everybody's own. For me,
you're
I knew.
something.
You
Yeah,
have to sacrifice
for
something.
me,
I'm
I
not
knew.
sacrificing my kids because I'll find a way.
Yeah, I knew that it's going to be tough to have two filmmakers or to have two actors or have something must give.
Yeah.
Right? But for me, I feel that when your choices, your life partner choice, it matters a lot as a filmmaker. Generally, let me even use filmmaking, not just directors.
Yeah.
It matters a lot because if you don't have a steady home, it will reflect on your craft. You understand? So why I said I may not be able to marry a filmmaker or an actor is because, or a director, is because I feel like at every point in time, one of the parents should be close to the kids. So when I'm married to a broadcast journalist who also travels. Sometimes work takes her out of the country, out of the state. And when that happens, I endeavor not to take a project within that period. So I have to be at home to be with the kids. Because I'm of the opinion that nobody can train your kid better than you will. So whereas I travel more, if there's an occasion for my partner to travel, my wife to travel, I have to be home. They have to always see one of their parents. That's my own methodology.
Yeah.
Now it doesn't mean that that is the best, right? There are people who want to marry people who want to travel the world together. So they leave the children at home and travel the world together. They're okay with it, and that's fine. So whatever thing that works for you, I don't think it's married counseling we came for.
But I would like to get your own opinion.
I think generally it's just a bit tricky having a creative as a spouse, you know, because no, but that's the truth.
Yeah, that's
the
true.
truth,
That's right. I agree.
Whichever creative person you meet is first of all in love with that creative nature.
True.
Yes.
So you're not the first choice.
No,
you're not the first person.
You can become the first choice. You can become the first choice.
You are being diplomatic, sir. You are being diplomatic.
So you're not the first choice.
You are being diplomatic. You are being diplomatic in your answer. If you are being honest,
your spouse can become the first choice, but from the beginning, right, you are faced with choices several times. Do I stay with her? Do I go to this film set? Do I celebrate her birthday? You know, and you're on set, sweetheart, you didn't send me a text message. You know, so
sorry,
there's just that shift. There's just that balance that you struggle with. Like, so, for example, personally, when I moved to Lagos, it was a lot easier for me to just pack my bags from Abuja and just move because I didn't have to explain to any wife that I think my career in Abuja is
packed up.
I think I'm
I
not
need to
feeling
move.
Let me go to a new space. I didn't have to answer to anybody.
Just
the
move.
most was family, siblings, and those ones have the, you know. So it's a bit tricky balancing it, but people have found a way to make it work. And
Yeah.
I
it
have
doesn't
found
mean
a way
that
to make it
will not
work.
work, and
Yeah.
it doesn't mean that I'm discouraging anyone from marrying a creative person, because
yeah.
if you marry a creative person,
Just
you're
be-
marrying a supernatural.
Just be patient with the person.
Someone with
I
supernatural.
I said
But you
he's,
said he was
I said he's
diplomatic
being
with that. So
diplomatic
is it
with that.
can
The truth is, let's be honest, before I married my wife, or before I even found my wife, or before we even started on the talking stage, I was married to the camera. I was married to the story. I was married to film. I was married to the story. So now, it doesn't mean that you can't love your wife beyond your work. It doesn't mean that. But what it means is that filmmaking has become part of you, to the extent that you are now asking yourself, if you ask me now to make a choice between filmmaking and my partner or my wife, you're asking me to make a choice between myself and my wife, because filmmaking is part of me. So what it means for me then is that I must be able to love my partner, or prioritize, I think that's the word women look for, prioritize my wife. However, I also expect my wife to show, and she has been showing that, understanding that before ever we even came across, before ever in fact, you walked into my life when I was already a filmmaker, not that I was trying to determine what work will I do. So which means it has become an embodiment, and whether we like it or not, filmmaking is not like any other profession. Filmmaking is, or storytelling is, it's something that it's something that is a part and parcel of you. Except you don't have that enough motivation, except you just walked in, you gambled on it, or you just saw that people are making money and you jumped on it. But if it is something that you chose, not that filmmaking chose you by virtue of get any other choice, and this is the only place where money will come, and then you jump into it. That is filmmaking choosing you, but you chose that part of filmmaking. It is difficult to separate yourself from it. So that late night works, at first, using my personal example, right? My wife didn't understand why I have to be answering call by 2 a.m. or by 12 a.m. In fact, I had to now consciously decide that if you call me by 10, I will not pick you, so that family can also see that I'm prioritizing them, right? But the truth is, as filmmakers, if I think of Precious by 2 a.m., I'm calling him.
Yep.
And he's speaking.
Why? Because somehow in my subconscious, I feel like, okay, he's shooting somewhere.
Yeah.
I've had producers call me at 3 a.m.
Yeah.
A female producer that is married.
Do you understand?
I just needed Dano, blah, blah, are you free next
And
week?
it's not that
3 a.m. my phone rang.
And it's not,
Yes.
and it's
Yeah.
not that you are
Almost-
disrespecting.
And it's work.
Yeah.
And it's not that you're disrespecting your partner. It's not that you're disrespecting. It's just
Yeah.
that somehow this is how we have been built.
But it's a big issue in relationship.
It's a very big issue.
Very
So
big
me,
issue in
I
relationship,
consciously, I now consciously try not to take calls after a certain hour. In a worst case scenario, I'll send a text and say, I'll call you back in the morning. Because you must, like he said, something must give. You must have to sacrifice one thing for the other. So if you're marrying a creative, please, as a sound of warning, we are very, very creative people. And you may not understand every of our decisions. Sometimes you may not even understand why we do what we do, or why we are so passionate about this thing that we're not even certain will bring back money. But understand that that's how we are built.
Yeah.
We are built to create. I don't think God rests. Forget that they say he rests on Sunday. Because even on that Sunday, he was observing the things he has created, which is post-production.
For him to say, hey,
That's post-production.
Clock it.
So, as creators, as partners of God, right? We don't have a resting day. We create all week, and we go on Sunday to check what we have created, to ensure and look at it and be like, this is good. I look at my editor's monitor and be like, this is good. So that's on a Sunday. That's my work for Sunday. So if I go on Sunday for my post-production supervision, please bear with me. That's how my Father in heaven made it to
Me, I'm
be.
even consciously making sure that Sundays I don't do any work.
I
try.
I'm not
But
saying I do that
struggle,
always,
but I
but-
struggle unless I have to be on set, right? Because every time they're calling, are you available on Sunday? You need to be here, and I'm just trying to say, oh, you know what? Please, Sunday, just sacrifice it for me. Let me just take it. But sometimes it's Monday for me because sometimes on Mondays we're not working. So Mondays I'll just be happy to. Anytime I have anything to do on Monday, I'm tired. So being a partner to a creative, and it's such a chore that if the person doesn't get it, sometimes you meet them, people that even have the capacity to understand human beings, but by the time they get into a filmmaker's world, it stretches.
It's a different world.
And it becomes a different thing, and you keep trying to explain.
we appreciate them. We appreciate those who manage to marry us, like my wife. I appreciate you a lot.
Whoever my future wife is.
I appreciate you a lot. I know you are dealing with a lot, but I understand it. I see it. But that's how we are wired. Thank God I have other filmmakers saying the same thing.
So it's not only, and since you've been talking like this, all the people
They've
behind
been
the scene,
echoing.
they've been
nodding
checking,
like, they get it.
Because that's it. And you try to stop yourself.
You can't.
You can't.
It's like an opiate.
Like a drug.
Yes, it's like you are addicted to something that you try to stop. And then before you realize it, it's your wife standing over you and looking at you, and you're like,
yeah.
Uh-oh.
And the worst thing your partner can do also.
I'm responding to message by 2 a.m. and error. You keep your phone because you didn't intentionally want to do it because you want to disrespect her. It's just how it flows, right? And it's worse when you are an entrepreneur and a creative.
Yeah.
Being an entrepreneur is enough problem. Then when you now double it with being a creative, because if you're a creative working in a setup system where you know that at the end of the month you are getting XYZ salary, you are a creative for hire. But when you're a creative and you're an entrepreneur, which means nobody is paying you monthly salary, it's worse. Because now you got to think about how to create, you have to think about how to sell, you have to think about how to keep the money, you have to think about how to invest the money. So you are the alpha and omega of your own creative enterprise. So it's a lot more, especially when you are starting. Of course, with time you hire people, you delegate, but at the beginning part, I know it's a stretch for almost all partners, but that does not mean that you should not marry a creative if you wish to.
We're one of the best people to get married to.
Alright, Precious, before we round it, I'd like you to talk about your documentary. Tell us a little about it.
Oh, okay. So the name is Beyond Olympic Glory, and it was directed by my friend Shedrack Salami. Yes. So the story follows the journey of a female Nigerian boxer who grew up in Bariga here, from the slums of Bariga, and then she got to the Olympics, and on getting to the Olympics she was disqualified and she was accused of doping, and she said she did not do that, and she did not do that. So so the journey now became a journey of her proving herself, her survival, her standing against the system, even when the system like Nigeria did not support her. You know how Nigerian sports this thing do, where somebody has been disqualified, instead of you fighting for the person, everybody backs out and everybody leaves her stranded. Even to other countries, another, I don't want to say the name, to come in and say, okay, we want to fight for her. So it became about her redemption story and her vow. So yeah, we filmed basically here at Bariga. Shedrack got a grant from Story Me Academy in France. So it was executive produced by Sophie Boulon and the Story Me Academy Foundation and all of them. So it cost a lot. Initially the story was about from slums to grace, right? To glory, meaning we were following her from here to Paris, because Shedrack had to travel to France to film her. But by the time we reached, we had to now change the story halfway. When she was accused of that, it just changed the trajectory of the entire documentary. I was saying, what? I think this should now become, beyond Olympic glory. What happens beyond, the glory of everything, the things that people do not see, and then it becomes that. And hearing her truth, hearing everybody, come on to say their own truth. It was such an emotional journey, and it took us a while, but yeah, we were able to piece it together, and thank God.
Yeah, I think that's very so let's hear your stories.
Yeah.
So I'm the cinematographer for the feature film titled Finding Nina. So Finding Nina is about a northern photographer that moved to Lagos young in life and went back to the north to discover and retell the image of the north. But while he was on that journey, he came across his childhood crush and got a bit distracted. So there was the distraction from making pictures and also finding this lady. So that's the entire story. It was funded by Nemsha Studio. It's actually on Amazon Prime, and it's actually my first major feature.
Wow!
So
You say major, it means maybe I've shot
I've done some other couple of smaller stuff that have been on smaller platforms, but
Okay.
working at that scale with that size of a budget and story was the first, So having the nomination for this, I'm like, okay, is this how we're going to start? Or we give God the glory?
First of first.
Yeah,
Same here. It was my first AMVCA too.
Wow,
So,
congratulations.
yeah.
Yes.
So it was a beautiful experience. I'm grateful to God and for the entire team. Most of us on that project grew up in Jos. We went to film school. Yeah, I went to NTATB college, and most of them went to film school. So it just felt like a school project because we all grew up together. Like we spent the past 10 years knowing each other, seeing each other's work. So it just felt like a school project, but with a bigger budget, better story, and more experience. So it was like a dream come true for us. Yeah, so a life-changing opportunity actually.
All right. So, Uche, the last thing I would like you to talk about is, off cam we talked about this, and that's the fact that I want to talk, the place called Nollywood. Usually, there's a place where you call Nollywood. There's a location where, but we don't have for Nollywood.
So what do you want me to say?
So I want you to talk about it. Why don't we have a place?
Well, first and foremost, like I mentioned, Nollywood is a nomenclature by a journalist. We came to report the industry, Nigerian film industry, and the easiest way to describe the industry that he met, was to call it Nollywood, drawing from the Hollywood, experience. And so that was how he, got baptized and became, Nollywood. So, unlike America, that already has a, major place where they have their studios and all of that, we really don't have a production studio in Nigeria. The closest we got was Tinapa, which died many years ago, and they are trying to revamp. So we don't have. So the reason why we don't have a place called Nollywood, to answer your question, is that we don't have. But are there efforts that are being made? Yes. However, in part of our conversation here, I've mentioned that there are multiple film hubs across the country, which now means that it will be difficult at this point to now create one singular place and call it Nollywood.
Yeah.
Nollywood has outgrown its space. Nollywood is now a nomenclature that can be used, but cannot be, if I may call it, located, if I may call it that way. It may not be somewhere in the map in terms of physical location, but it has become a nomenclature that has become a huge platform. So rather than try to do what Americans did, to create one place and say this is our own Hollywood, no. Rather than do that, I feel what we should be talking about now is to, advocate for film studios, film villages, film cities, across the country, not just Lagos. Because yes, Lagos will remain the heartbeat of the creative economy in Africa, even if you may. However, it's becoming also more crowded. So to be able to encourage the growth of the industry, we have to now encourage film villages, film studios, film cities in other film hubs. Let's say, for instance, if you go to Tata now and build a massive film studio, right, and publicize it properly, you will still have some of our people go there to make great films. So we do not have, because we did not start off with the kind of structure America started. American film industry had structure from the get-go. We did not have that. Ours were trial and error until we blossomed because of numbers, as he said. And nobody actually even gave us a chance that we're going to grow to this point. I mean, when all of these things started, it is the never do wells, the fools. That's what they call people who go into this craft.
Yeah.
Things have drastically changed, and now that is why everybody is now constantly saying. That's why Nollywood has become a talking point. So, just to put it to wrap it up, I feel the government will need to come in. State governments now, because whenever we mention government, everybody's eyes and ears go to federal government. Not just the federal government. States need to come in. States need to take responsibilities. And I'm using this platform now to call directly on certain state governors. The governor of Delta State, you need to take film industry seriously. Asaba has become a hub, whether you like it or not. Enugu state government need to become more serious about film industry. The FCT minister, because they don't have governor. I know for a fact that we have what we call the Abuja Film Village that has been on paper for many years. Only recently I learned that they have some consultants, but I had some meetings with them. But it has not become a reality, the Abuja Film Village. Right now, they have the land. I believe that has been approved. In fact, the last conversation I had with them, they were saying they were about to set up what they call Abuja Film House. We're going to get an Abuja Film House. So, but they're not doing enough to really build the Abuja Film Village to become a major studio. So, Abuja, whoever that is controlling, the minister that is controlling Abuja, need to pay more attention. Kano has become a major film hub. The Kano State Governor needs to do something. Plateau is a major film hub, one of the best places to film in this country. What is the governor doing about? In fact, they house the NFC, which is Nigerian Film Corporation, they house NFI, which is Nigerian Film Institute, which is one of the best film schools in the country. These things, what is the governor doing? It is not the more that this state government are mentioning, use their money to build it or their budget to build it. It is for them to position the state good enough to attract international funders to come and build it. So that for me is where the conversation should be going, and maybe not necessarily going to build in one place and say, oh, all of us, this is now the Nollywood, come here. No, I don't think that will even work right now.
All right, so what should we expect next from you?
Is it from me as a person or from the guild I represent?
From you, even from the guild that you represent.
Okay, from me, I think it is now time for me to now go and compete for some of these awards before we get old without we get too old without nominations. Before now, like I said, I really don't put attention to submitting films in awards and all of that. But I think I'm thinking in that line now. I probably will make 1 or 2 films. That probably will be submitted by next year. But then beyond that, for the guild, our job we are currently planning the first ever DGN Awards, which is the platform we want to use to start celebrating directing excellence in Nigeria. Yes, it's modeled after the DGA Awards. Yes, which is the Directors Guild of America. In fact, the first edition hopefully will be in July, where we are looking at celebrating Best Director in Documentary, Best Director in Animation, Best Director in Comedy, or different genre, right? But it's exclusively a Director's Award, not for any other person, but celebrating directing excellence in Nigeria. Beyond that, we're also, opening up more for younger filmmakers, which is one of the things that we've been lagging behind over the years. We've also instituted the DGN Academy, which is Directors Guild of Nigeria Academy, where we're now training younger people almost at no cost. And so a lot is happening, within the directing ecosystem. We're also we're opening up conversations with the Directors Guild of America. We're opening up conversation with the Directors Guild of Canada. So we're also trying to have some sort of international alliances, in what we do. We're also trying to look at some partners to set up the film market for our directors who have story ideas, either in pre-production, in developmental stage, or currently about to go to production, or are done with production but needs funding for post-production, or they are even done with the entire process but they want the market. So, to distribute. So these are some of the values we're trying to create within the DGN, so that those who are not members can also start seeing the need, to join the guild. Our job right now, we're also trying to set up teams that will go for what we call the negotiation. Now, this is going to be one of the most controversial in the industry, and I'll tell you why. Over the years, there is no, unlike currently as we speak, the Directors Guild of America is negotiating with the producers organization in America, the big 6 studios, then renegotiating. There are many things on the table, which includes the AI matter. To what extent should AI influence the art? Because some DJ members believe that the AI might likely be taking a lot of people off their job. So they're trying to say, okay, can we limit this AI influence only to digital assets? So if you're making film for like streaming, digital assets and all of that, and not to bring it into traditional cinema. Let's know that, okay, this is like where the directors and the actual filmmakers take complete control. And then again, they're also talking about better pay, because every negotiation comes with better pay. I know that the Writers Guild has done their own negotiation. The SAFRA, which is the actors part, have done their own negotiation, and the directors are doing their own negotiation. So we are trying to set a similar structure here. Like Precious rightly pointed out, if you're a filmmaker or a director in this country, get another job. It shouldn't be, really, if we have a proper structure that is paying. These things do not exist before, but there should be some sort of, we should go beyond. I know that the producers will have their own complaints, because they will tell you, okay, where are we even selling this film? How much are we making? And you want us to now give you this amount. But that is part of the entire ecosystem. Producers, directors, actors, writers, we should stand together and demand for more. That's the truth. But then again, if we're demanding for more, which is where it gets more complicated now, if you start demanding for more, the people that you are demanding it from will ask you, how much are we getting? For instance, Netflix packed up, not like they completely packed up, but they reduced the amount of acquisition. Amazon Prime, same thing. Why? What are the issues? There are a lot of speculations here and there, but trust me, I say the only speculation that makes sense is that they are not making money. There's no business in the world that will be making money and they will go. Forget about the whole controversies about they give you money, you short substandard. Those are bullshit, they are crap. For me, the most important is that if Netflix are coming, when they see 250 million people, right? They feel like, oh man, there's number here. Yeah. Then you now come, you that is my anchor now. You now can get one a Netflix account. All your family members and friends will now log in. Yeah. And you are paying 2,900 and 15 people have access to different things. So how will they make the money? Again, so those are the issues. So if, for instance, they came into this market and the market is actually giving them no money, there's no way. I believe strongly, because I'm also a business person. Nobody lives or exists in markets. But then again, we shouldn't even be waiting for them. Sorry, I'm going into a lot of things, but the reality, we shouldn't even be waiting for them. Local solutions. Nobody is coming to save us. We must have to build our own local market. I mean, the DVD VCD era sold millions of copies. Now, we say everybody is now on digital. Okay, let's even agree for a moment. Those people that used to watch our DVD VCD, that number, where are they? This is why the likes of OPay, MoneyPoint, and all those digital banks are taking close to 60 million customers off Nigeria. You know why? Off the traditional banks. You know why? They came and saw a large population of unbankable people. People who don't have access to smartphones, who don't have access to this and that. They provided a banking system that suits majority of Nigerians. And they say you don't even need to bother to come to us to generate an account number. Your phone number becomes your account number. You see that innovation? So the moment you have a phone number, you have an account number. Yeah. Why are we trying to create a model that works in America?
Another one.
And we need to look at the numbers in Nigeria. How many people are on the internet? How many people are active internet users? How many people can afford data? Because that you have a smartphone and you can put data anytime you want does not mean that the next person has as much. There are people that live on one of my secretaries, my old then secretary. Sometimes then when I send him a message, I send her a message, and she will say she didn't see it. I said, I sent it on your WhatsApp. Oh, okay, I don't have data. Sometimes I'm wondering why. But you know, taught me a lesson that there are many people who their data is always constantly off because they are trying to save data, or they put it on only when they want to, or they don't even have enough to stream films. So are we building a market that can accommodate these people? Because they are in larger frame, whether you like it or not. In Nigeria of today, there are no middle classes. I put it to you. I told somebody, if you are making 1 million naira in Lagos, you are poor. Yes,
True.
monthly. You are poor. Because go and check how much rent you are paying. Remove it.
Rent is a lot.
Remove it.
Lagos.
Remove it at the end of the year. I'm tying it all up now. So if, for instance, we no longer have a middle class, we have either you are rich or you are poor, right? This poor masses, the greater number of persons,
That's a great way to
how do we make it easier for them to watch films? That's why people are marrying YouTube. But even at that YouTube, if you have 10 million Nigerians watching your films, you're not making good money.
Yeah, the RPM is low.
Because Nigerian RPM is low. And you ask me why, I will answer you. Why? Because if you go now to YouTube to advertise your goods in Nigeria, how much you spend?
How much
Highest
do you pay?
20,000, 15,000. When they share it across all the creators, what would they get? So,
5 naira.
so if your major viewers are even from Nigeria on YouTube, you're not making money. So even the YouTube that we're all rushing to, except you have major viewers coming from countries that really pay good money in advertising.
That's when you. Yeah.
So it's all complex. So for us, we need better payment as filmmakers. But I also understand that the producers need better payment to be able to pay us better. And I also understand that the exhibiting platform, people who are actually buying this film, need better economy to make more money from the people. And I also understand that the people that they want to make more money from needs a thriving economy to be able to earn what they will feed first, clothe themselves, shelter themselves before they start thinking about entertainment, which is like the fourth part of their need, or fifth, or even 10th. So it's all complex. So it's at the end of the day, it comes back to the foot of the government. Get this economy better so that all of us can enjoy it.
All right, thank you, Uche. Thank you, Precious. Thank you, Daniel. But lastly, I just want you to talk about the industry recently lost an actor, Alex Sekubo. And it's a very sad one. So I just want you to talk a little about his legacy so that we can round up with this.
Me or them?
So no, I want to start with Precious before, and I'll move to Diane.
I never really got to meet Alex or know him, but his impact is, I felt, through the films he did and through the works that he did, and through social media. But I can see how much it has impacted everybody around me. There's nobody that doesn't feel hurt just knowing that he died. So because of that, I wouldn't say anything because I don't know, but I just know that it is so sad and it is heartbreaking, and I hope that maybe we do better celebrating people when they are alive, especially people in our industry, in our space. We don't just assume things and criticize people a lot. I wish, the only thing I can wish from his death is that I hope and wish that he received a lot of support, because what he dealt with, my dad died last year from cancer too, and he died at 62. So it was really traumatizing. In fact, his death has traumatized me that I think I got scared at some point. I'm like, oh God, make this thing not gonna affect me, and I found myself in a space where I want to make better life choices. So to his family, I hope that they stay strong. I hope that God gives them the strength they need to bear this loss, and I know that this is a huge loss to the Nollywood industry as well. That's basically all I can say about that.
Right.
I never worked with Alex. I didn't have the privilege to experience him on set, but we watched his movies and we were entertained by his performance. For we to see how people react on social media, it just shows how impactful he was. Whether you met him in person or not, but we benefited from his performance. He inspired people. I saw videos of him with little kids in school. He was sharing money to them, and so jovial. I saw another video of him singing with them to FCDB on stage, and it just felt heartbroken. Another thing, it just shows us that we don't know tomorrow, I don't start preaching, but life is short,
Preach,
you know.
bro.
So just make use of the best time that you have. Reconcile with family, reconcile with friends. There's no time to build animosity among each other. Just live a happy life, so that at the end of the day, people will celebrate you genuinely. So
Okay, well, two things. Alex died at the age of 40. That's like when life begins, according to the people that know better. I say life begins at 40. So just about when life is about to begin, the young man left. So it's a sad thing. It's so sad that you don't even need to know him personally. Just by being a human, you should know that that's like being cut short at your prime. And this is 2 years off social media, from what I understand. I mean, probably we started battling way before, and today he's no more. So first, I would say, may his soul rest in peace. May he find peace wherever he finds himself right now. And if at all there is a chance to come back again, the legacies he has left in terms of his works will speak forth for him. Having said that, two things I want the industry to learn from it. One, you have already highlighted, and I will just, emphasize it. Nobody's getting out of this place alive. So you must make the best of the moment. In fact, the only time you have is right now. You're not guaranteed of the next minute. You're not guaranteed the next day. You're not guaranteed the next moment. So whatever you can do at this material moment, at this point in time, do not wait or procrastinate or postpone. Because the reality is that you don't hold the keys to what happens tomorrow. That's one. Secondly, I wish, there's a way to get a message before it happens. I mean, before someone passes on. Because he is very close to a couple of my friends. In fact, one of my current PRO, that's the DGN PRO, was his schoolmate in Calabar. So they have long coming relationship. And of course some other people that are close to me, that are very close to him. And there's nobody that has spoken ill of him. In fact, what I've been hearing is he's a professional, doesn't do this, doesn't do so, which means he's a good guy. So why I said I wish that we get letter or information that, oh man, it's tomorrow. We could have thrown a party, could have had a proper goodbyes, could have had moments to say, to look you into the face and tell you what we think about you. I wish. Unfortunately, nobody knows when, how, where it happens. So what I will say is that it's a huge loss to the industry. And not just him. Somebody just sent me a photograph this morning containing lots of our people that have passed on between last year and this year. And it's so heartbreaking. And I'm like, where are all these good people going? Is there like a rapture happening and we are the ones left behind? But whatever happens, I pray that God gives his family the strength to bear the irreplaceable loss. Because the loss of anybody, for people like me who have lost father, mother, about 3 elder siblings, there's no one way to feel when you lose someone. And the pain differs. And there's no point you get to and you say, oh, I've experienced it all. I can now endure this particular pain. No. So I don't want to say I understand what the family is going through right now. But my own is that God will grant them the strength to bear this irreplaceable loss, because Alex is loved. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much for joining me today. It's been wonderful. I mean, we've spoken a lot. Thank you, Dayon. Thank you, the API director. Thank you, our president. It's wonderful having you on set. And we hope to also still, I mean, we'll have more information. I'll reach out to the DGN. I learned a lot today, actually, about the industry because I don't know. All we just do is just once you bring film, we watch and we just sit at that. We just sit down, we just understand. But you know, from here you get to understand that the directors, they also go through a lot. The cinematographers, there's a lot to it, so you just have to appreciate everybody. So thank you for joining us today. And this is where we have to draw the curtain. Don't just look at it that the tune is too long, but there's a lot of lessons you have to learn. My name is Damilola Ogunshaki. Do want to follow us on all our social media platforms on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. You can also visit our website www.vanguardngr.com. This is what I have to say. Bye bye.